Chapter 360. Qin Feiyang was holding a healing pill and looking at it carefully. Hearing Wolf King's sound transmission, his eyes flashed and he turned to look at the black-haired old man. A person's appearance could change, but the smell they emitted would not change. He believed in Wolf King's sense of smell, so it would definitely not be wrong. But he only glanced at it for a moment, then turned to look at the young woman and said with a smile, "Is there no better quality medicinal pill? Young master is not satisfied?" The young woman frowned. Her expression was a little displeased. This was the best medicinal pill in White Fox City, and he actually didn't like it? However, the young woman did not know that Qin Feiyang was not dissatisfied, but very dissatisfied. This healing pill was just an ordinary medicinal pill. Moreover, even among the ordinary healing pills, it was considered a low-grade item. How could such a medicinal pill enter the eyes of a top-grade alchemist who could refine two pill veins? Even the medicinal pills that he casually refined were stronger than this. But he just smiled, put the healing pill on the counter, and turned to walk to another counter. Although the young woman was a little dissatisfied, she still followed. Because in her eyes, Qin Feiyang was a little fat sheep waiting to be slaughtered. In fact, Qin Feiyang was not in the mood to look at these medicinal pills at all. He had been paying attention to the black-haired old man. But after a while he came to a counter. A fiery red flower attracted his gaze. It was actually a 9 suns flower. And beside the 9 suns flower, there was a red fireglass tree. He had really picked up a treasure. Qin Feiyang was overjoyed and was about to ask the young woman about the price. But he suddenly frowned and asked secretly, "Don't you think it's strange?" "What's strange?" Wolf King and Pangolin were puzzled. Within 1,000 miles, only that woman's grandfather is an alchemist. Then why would he sell medicinal herbs in the trading pavilion? Qin Feiyang said. Logically speaking, the Meng family should directly refine these medicinal herbs into medicinal pills. Because the price of a finished medicinal pill would be several times higher than that of medicinal herbs. Moreover, medicinal herbs were only useful to alchemists. If one was not an alchemist, no matter how precious the herbs were, it would be useless. In this entire area, besides the Meng family, there were no other alchemists. Who would come here to sell these herbs? For some reason, Qin Feiyang had an intuition when he saw these herbs. The Meng family's selling of these medicinal herbs was not as simple as it seemed on the surface. Hearing Qin Feiyang's words, Wolf King and Pangolin also felt a little strange. Seeing that Qin Feiyang was sizing up the medicinal ingredients, a strange look flashed across the young woman's eyes. She asked, "Young master, do you want these herbs?" Qin Feiyang asked, "How much is this 9 suns flower?" 200,000 gold coins per flower. There's more in the warehouse. If young master needs a large amount, I can give you a discount. The young woman smiled. So cheap? Qin Feiyang was stunned and asked, "How many?" The young woman said, "I'm not sure, but there should be no less than 20 flowers. Qin Feiyang was secretly surprised. 9 suns flowers were rare in the spiritual state, but he didn't expect there to be so many here. Wolf King urged little Qinzi, "What are you waiting for? Hurry up and buy them all." Qin Feiyang secretly said, "Don't worry. Let's figure out the situation first." He believed in his intuition that there must be a secret behind the medicinal herbs sold in the trading pavilion. At this moment, the black-haired old man opposite bought an elixir, put it in his arms and walked towards Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang noticed it immediately. A glint flashed across his eyes. After the black-haired old man walked over, he chuckled and said, "Young man, do you have time to talk?" Qin Feiyang turned to look at the black-haired old man and asked in confusion, "Old man, are you talking to me?" The black-haired old man nodded. Strange. Why would he take the initiative to approach me? Qin Feiyang muttered and said with a smile, "If I have time, what does the old man want to talk about?" The black-haired old man glanced at the young woman and said in a hoarse voice, "Let's find a restaurant and talk slowly." "Okay." Qin Feiyang nodded. Seeing this, the young woman hurriedly said, "Young master, do you still want to buy these herbs? I'm not an alchemist, what use do I have for these herbs?" Qin Feiyang smiled faintly, took out 50 gold coins and said, "This is for your hard work. Thank you, young master." The young woman's eyes lit up, and she hurriedly accepted it and bowed to thank him. "It's fine." Qin Feiyong waved his hand and looked at the black-haired old man. Old man, after you. The black-haired old man nodded and turned to walk to the first floor. Qin Feiyong followed closely behind. After the two left one after another, a door in the corner opened. A middle-aged man with a square face walked out from inside. The middle-aged man walked to the young woman's side and asked, "Why is that kid asking about herbs? Is he an alchemist?" "No." The young woman shook her head and said, "I think he's just curious." The middle-aged man said, "All right then, continue to watch. If anyone buys herbs, immediately report to me." "Yes." The young woman nodded. The middle-aged man turned to leave, but suddenly turned back to look at the young woman and asked, "Did you see Ding Ming?" The young woman said, "I saw him come back, but he suddenly disappeared." The middle-aged man said angrily, "The trading pavilion is so busy all day, and he still has time to run around. When you see him, tell him to come see me immediately." "Okay," the young woman replied. At the same time, Qin Feiyong followed the black-haired old man and walked out of the trading pavilion. Qin Feiyong transmitted his voice, "White-eyed wolf, are you sure he's Ding Ming?" Wolf King said, "Brother is sure." "Strange, what does he want to do?" Qin Feiyong was puzzled. The black-haired old man suddenly took a step back and walked side by side with Qin Feiyong, whispering, "Young man, do you know why this old man suddenly came to see you?" Qin Feiyong was stunned and said, "Please enlighten me." The black-haired old man said, "Because you're going to buy those herbs." Qin Feiyong's heart trembled and asked calmly, "Is there a problem with those herbs?" "There's a big problem." The black-haired old man's eyes flashed and said, "You should know that only the Meng family has alchemists in this area." Qin Feiyong nodded. The black-haired old man said, "If that's the case, why are they selling herbs? Have you ever thought about this?" "No." Qin Feiyong shook his head, pretending to be puzzled. The black-haired old man said, "To tell you the truth, there are other alchemists in this area." Qin Feiyong raised his brows and asked, "Where are the other alchemists?" The black-haired old man said, "They've all been killed by the Meng family." "What?" Qin Feiyong was shocked. The Meng family sells herbs in the trading pavilion to attract people to buy them. You know that herbs don't have much use for ordinary people. Therefore, the people who would go and buy medicinal herbs must be alchemists. And once someone buys herbs, they'll be assassinated by the Meng family immediately. The black-haired old man said in a deep voice. "Why would the Ming family do that?" The pangolin was bewildered. The black-haired old man said, "It's simple. Without other alchemists, the Meng family can safely guard White Fox City." The pangolin snorted coldly. "The Meng family is really despicable." The black-haired old man sneered. If the Meng family wasn't despicable, they would have been annihilated by the nearby tribes. Qin Feiyong's eyes flashed and he asked suspiciously, "Old man, this should be a secret of the Meng family, right? How do you know about it?" "I have a friend who works in the trading pavilion. One time when I was drinking with him, he had too much to drink and told me about this secret." The black-haired old man said. Qin Feiyong nodded and asked, "Then why are you helping me?" "I'm helping you because you're a stranger, and I don't want you to get into trouble. There's another reason. My grandson is also an alchemist. Just like you. He didn't know about this secret at the time and went to the trading pavilion to buy herbs happily. In the end, he was targeted by the Meng family and died outside the city. By the time I found him, he was already a cold corpse." The black-haired old man said with hatred in his eyes. Qin Feiyong said, "The Meng family is truly heartless. There's nothing I can do. The Meng family is too powerful. Even if I know about this secret, I won't dare to say it. Young man, don't talk nonsense. Otherwise, you'll get yourself killed." The black-haired old man warned. "Thank you for your reminder," Qin Feiyong said. The black-haired old man said with a smile, "We're quite fated. Why don't you accompany me for a few drinks?" "I'd love to," Qin Feiyong said with a smile. "I remember that there's a restaurant in front. Let's go." The black-haired old man chuckled and walked forward quickly. Qin Feiyong followed him silently. Wolf King said telepathically, "Little Qinzi, what the hell is this man doing?" Qin Feiyong pondered for a moment and said, "If I'm wrong, he said this to gain our trust and then take the opportunity to kill us." Wolf King said, "Then is what he said true?" The Meng family is selling herbs to lure alchemists to buy them. It should be true. But what grandson? He must have ignored us and wanted to gain our sympathy. Qin Feiyong said with a faint smile. This person thought he was very smart, but he didn't know that Wolf King had already seen through his identity. The pangolin beast said, "Then what are we waiting for? Kill him directly." Qin Feiyong said indifferently, "There's no hurry. I want to see if he has any accomplices." A moment later, the two entered a restaurant. According to the black-haired old man, all the restaurants in White Fox City were the properties of the Meng family, so here they had to be careful with their words. Under the lead of a waiter, the two entered a private room. Not long after, the waiter brought over a few bottles of wine and a few signature dishes that smelled and tasted good. Qin Feiyong tasted it. There was no problem with the wine and dishes. Then, the old man and the young man drank and chatted. Time passed little by little. Qin Feiyong slowly realized that this person seemed to want to get him drunk. Straightforward. He took advantage of this person's intention. After secretly instructing Wolf King and the pangolin beast, they began to pretend to be drunk. About an hour later. Chapter 361. At this time it was already late at night. Seeing Qin Feiyong and the two beasts fall, the black-haired old man's old eyes suddenly flashed with a cold light. He got up and walked to Qin Feiyong's side, stretched out his hand to push Qin Feiyong back and asked, "Little brother, are you okay?" Qin Feiyong was snoring and did not respond. Haha, at this moment, the black-haired old man laughed, full of sarcasm. Immediately, he took out a facial restoration elixir and swallowed it, and his appearance began to change greatly. After restoring his true appearance, who else could he be but Ding Ming? Ding Ming, who had restored his true appearance, did not kill Qin Feiyong and the others. He opened the door and walked out. Wolf King was surprised and said, "Little Qin Zi, what's going on? Why did he leave?" "Don't worry," Qin Feiyong whispered. Soon, Ding Ming also returned to the pavilion. But there was one more person beside him. This was also a young man about 25 or 26 years old, wearing a white tiger skin coat. When this person looked at Qin Feiyong and the others, his eyes flashed with cold light. After Ding Ming closed the door, he said proudly, "Cousin, how is it? All of you are here. Am I powerful?" "Yes, yes." The tiger-skinned young man gave a thumbs up, looked at Qin Feiyong with resentment, and asked, "How did you do it?" "I didn't kill them outside the city, so I went straight back to the trading pavilion. I wanted to wait for a chance to kill them later. But who would have thought that they also went to the trading pavilion? I found them as soon as they entered the door. At that time I thought of a plan. I ran to the stairs on the second floor, took the facial alteration elixir, and turned into an old man. Just when they were about to buy medicinal herbs, I took the opportunity to get close to them. In order to gain their trust, I spent a lot of time talking. Cousin, when you kill them with your own hands, you must reward me well." Ding Ming chuckled. "By medicinal herbs?" The tiger-skinned young man was stunned and said in surprise, "Is he an alchemist?" "I don't know." Ding Ming shook his head. The tiger-skinned youth snorted. "It doesn't matter if they are alchemists or not. As long as I can kill them with my own hands, it can be considered as revenge for Grandpa." "Grandfather?" Qin Feiyong was puzzled. Who was this person? But at this moment, Ding Ming's words resolved the doubts in his heart. Killing intent flickered in Ding Ming's eyes as he said, "Anyone who dares to touch our He clan won't have a good ending." The tiger-skinned youth sneered and said, "This man and the pangolin will definitely die, but we must keep this wolf alive." "Why?" Ding Ming was puzzled. The tiger-skinned youth smiled and said, "I heard that Miss Meng has taken a fancy to it. Let's send it over later. Miss Meng will be happy and will definitely reward us." "There's such a thing." Ding Ming was bewildered. "That's not all. There's something else. When this person entered the city, he injured the city guards. Now, the captain of the guards has given the order to search the entire city for them. Even if we don't kill them, they will die sooner or later. But this way I won't be able to kill them with my own hands." The tiger-skinned youth sneered. Ding Ming said, "Then hurry up and do it, in case something bad happens." But before his voice died away, a calm voice sounded. You should let the captain of the guards kill me, because in this way you won't die now. Qin Feiyong raised his head and glanced at the two like lightning. What's going on? When Ding Ming and the other two saw this, their faces were immediately filled with bewilderment. Are you surprised? Qin Feiyong got up and looked at Ding Ming. We have already seen through your identity in the trading pavilion. The Wolf King and the pangolin also got up, their eyes flashing with astonishment. What? Ding Ming's face turned pale. Seen through? Then why didn't they kill him in the trading pavilion? If I kill you in the trading pavilion, I won't be able to lure the person beside you out, right? I, Qin Feiyong, always cut the weeds and eliminate the roots, leaving no future trouble. Qin Feiyong smiled. He had been wondering if Ding Ming had an accomplice. In the end, he really caught a big fish. He looked at the tiger-skinned youth and said, If I'm not wrong, you should be He Yuan's grandson, right? The tiger-skinned youth's pupils constricted. Without needing him to answer, Qin Feiyong already had the answer in his heart. He said to himself, White-eyed wolf, do it. The Wolf King instantly activated the Fury of Fury, jumped up, landed in front of Ding Ming, and smashed out with his claws. Ah! A scream resounded through the night sky. Ding Ming flew out like a meteorite on the spot, crashing into the wall behind him. Bang! A big hole was made in the wall, and the railings of the corridor outside were smashed. With a loud bang, he fell into the lobby below. A dining table was smashed into pieces. Beside the table, there were 5 young people drinking and chatting. The table was broken, and the wine and dishes splashed all over their bodies. At that moment they were furious. They suddenly got up, looked down at Ding Ming, and found that he was already dead. They immediately looked upstairs. At the same time, the guests at the other tables also raised their heads, their faces full of surprise and doubt. When the waiters of the restaurant came to their senses, they angrily ran upstairs. Who had the guts to cause trouble here? Were they tired of living? At this moment, a figure broke out of the door. It was the tiger-skinned youth. At this moment his face was full of panic. After running out of the private room, he jumped down and landed beside Ding Ming. Dead? Immediately. His eyes were full of hatred. Let's see where you can run today. Wolf King also ran out, carrying an astonishing ferocious aura, and swooped down towards the leopard-skinned youth. Why does this wolf look a little familiar? Everyone was puzzled. It's the one that injured the city guard. Someone exclaimed. What? It actually dares to appear? Everyone was dumbfounded. Cousin, I will avenge you. The tiger-skinned youth said in a low voice, raised his head and looked at Wolf King with resentment, and fled towards the door. Where do you want to go? But at this moment, Qin Feiyong and the pangolin beast suddenly stopped outside the door. He knew that the tiger-skinned youth would escape. So, when the tiger-skinned youth broke out of the door, he also jumped down from the window with the pangolin beast to stop him at the door. It's him. Everyone's pupils shrank. It was this person who used gold coins to hit the 2 city guards. His attitude was even more arrogant than that wolf. Do you have to kill me? In front of him was Qin Feiyong and the pangolin beast blocking the way, and behind him was the violent Wolf King. The tiger-skinned youth was sandwiched in the middle and had nowhere to run. Moreover, he was only a 7-star martial grandmaster and had not even reached the War King. How could he be Qin Feiyong's opponent? I have always been a person who doesn't offend others if they don't offend me. Since you are from the He tribe and want to kill me, of course I won't be polite, Qin Feiyong said. As soon as he finished, the pangolin beast on his shoulder turned into a stream of light and rushed towards the tiger-skinned youth. Who can save me? The tiger-skinned youth looked helplessly at the diners around him, but no one said a word, and no one extended a helping hand. What a joke. They even dared to beat up the guards. What else did they not dare to do? No one wanted to look for abuse. However, at this moment, a burly middle-aged man walked out from the back hall. Steward Meng, please save me. The tiger-skinned youth hurriedly cried out as if he had seen his savior. The middle-aged man glanced at the scene and shouted to Qin Feiyong, quickly tell those 2 beasts to stop. Qin Feiyong raised his eyebrows. The pangolin beast braked and stopped, turning to look at Qin Feiyong. Qin Feiyong said indifferently, ignore him. Interesting. The pangolin beast chuckled. This kind of day was too exciting. Ferocious might exploded. It leaped up, its battle chi surging, transforming into a bright arrow. Whoosh! It pierced through the tiger-skinned youth's chest like lightning, leaving a palm-sized bloody hole. That moment, blood spurted out like a pillar. Qin Feiyang, you will die a horrible death. The tiger-skinned youth roared hysterically, his body falling down, lying in a pool of blood, dead. Killed again? And in front of Steward Meng? Did these guys eat the guts of a leopard? Weren't they afraid that the Meng family would kill them? Steward Meng was also stunned. White Fox City was his Meng family's territory. Even if people from the nearby large tribes came here, they had to abide by the rules set by the Meng family. But this man and two beasts not only killed people here, but also treated him as heir, turning a deaf ear to his words. It was simply unforgivable. Boom! A powerful aura roared out from his body. It was the 9-star Battle King. He looked coldly at Qin Feiyang and the Wolf King and shouted, "You two are really daring. Kneel down right now." Wolf King turned around and stared with his bell-like eyes, saying disdainfully, "Who do you think you are? What right do you have to make Lord Wolf kneel? Good, very good. Let's see if you can still be so arrogant after I cripple you." Steward Ming was furious. He suddenly slapped towards Wolf King. His battle chi was like a rainbow, containing a shocking murderous intent. Swoosh! Qin Feiyang landed in front of Wolf King and said, "I wanted to explain to you, but it seems that it's necessary. Since you want to fight, then come. What can a mere Meng family do to me?" A mere Meng family? Is this guy crazy? What a domineering young man. The surrounding crowd was shocked. As soon as he finished speaking, Steward Meng's battle chi rushed in front of him. Seeing that he was about to be drowned by the battle chi, Qin Feiyang raised his hand and waved, and a golden light appeared in his palm. Under everyone's incredulous gaze, Steward Meng's battle chi turned in the air and rushed towards him. What kind of battle art is this? Everyone was shocked. Steward Meng was also dumbfounded. He was full of confidence. Even if he couldn't kill this man and two beasts, he could still cripple them. But who would have thought that such a sudden change would occur? The battle chi roared and instantly drowned him. A blood-curdling scream immediately rang out. At the same time, Qin Feiyang also retreated, a trace of blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. His arm was even more lacerated. But this injury was worth it. "Leave the rest to me." Wolf King smiled sinisterly, rushed in front of Steward Meng in a few steps, and slapped his lower body with a claw. Roar! Crack! Accompanied by a pig-like scream, Steward Meng's balls were crushed and his bird died. Seeing this, the surrounding men, as well as the shop assistants who rushed over to help, couldn't help but cover their lower body. Their crotch was cold. He smashed Steward Meng's balls with one move. Chapter 362. Wolf King looked down at Steward Meng and said contemptuously, "You dare to be arrogant with just this little strength?" Steward Meng endured the pain and said sternly, "My Meng family will not let you off." Still arrogant? Wolf King was stunned and his eyes were fierce. Battle chi gushed out, and with a claw it directly smashed Steward Meng's chi. Ah! Steward Meng screamed miserably. His face was distorted, and his heart was full of resentment. His chi is broken. Then even if he survives, he will only be a cripple in the future. They are really challenging the dignity of the Meng family by doing this. The surrounding crowd was discussing. This man and two beasts were simply lawless. Wolf King laughed and said, "Old man, are you still arrogant now?" Steward Meng roared, "You will be torn into pieces, and your bones will be crushed to ashes. Stubborn. Looks like I can only use my ultimate move." Wolf King laughed evilly. What ultimate move? Everyone was surprised. But in the next moment, everyone's face couldn't help but twitch. That bastard's ultimate move was actually a pool of urine? Too shameless. Too cheap. Provoking it was destined to be a tragedy. After Wolf King finished, he shook that thing and shouted, Come, continue to be arrogant." But before he finished speaking, he was stunned. Steward Meng was already dead. Although his chi was destroyed, he shouldn't have died so quickly. Obviously, it was because of Wolf King's urine. He was so angry that he died. How did he die? I haven't used my ultimate move yet. Wolf King was a little angry. What? There's still an ultimate move. The eyes of the surrounding diners widened, and they immediately scattered, fleeing toward the door without looking back. They were afraid of getting themselves into trouble. What are you doing? Didn't you see the guard captain coming? Get out of my way. At this moment, an arrogant shout came from outside the door. There's something to play with again. Wolf King's eyes lit up. It turned into the size of a palm and jumped onto Qin Feiyang's shoulder. At the same time, he also snatched Steward Ming's cosmos back. The pangolin said in disdain, Brother Wolf, why are you so despicable? You're practically invincible. Are you itching for a beating again? Wolf King glared at the pangolin with hostility. The pangolin shrank its neck and asked, Qin Feiyang, what do we do now? What should we do? Qin Feiyang shook his head and said with a smile, Of course we have to meet them. With that said, he walked to the front of a dining table, turned around and sat down. He raised his head and looked at the door, waiting for the guard captain to come in. He's not running away? Seeing this, the waiters of the restaurant were dumbfounded. If it were anyone else, upon hearing that the captain of the guards had arrived, they would have fled long ago. But this person was just sitting there leisurely. Was he not afraid at all? A short while later, all the diners ran out. Following closely, a middle-aged man wearing a golden tiger skin strode into the restaurant under the escort of a group of guards. There were a total of 11 people. The big man with the black mole was also in the crowd. As soon as he saw Qin Feiyang and Wolf King, the big man with the black mole became angry and said to the captain of the guards, Sir, it's them. The captain of the guards glanced at Qin Feiyang and the others, then scanned the messy lobby. When he saw Steward Ming lying in a pool of blood, his face suddenly sank. What's going on? Why did Steward Ming die? The captain of the guards shouted. They killed Steward Ming. The group of waiters pointed at Qin Feiyang and the others indignantly. What? Coming to our Meng family's territory and killing our Meng family's people? How preposterous! Captain of the guards, quickly take them down. The big man with the black mole and the other guards were all ferocious and murderous. The captain of the guards also had a gloomy face. This was especially true when he saw Qin Feiyang still sitting there leisurely. The anger in his heart was unable to be contained. Drag him up for me. He waved his hand, and 2 guards immediately walked out of the crowd and rushed toward Qin Feiyang. One of them was the big man with the black mole. Little beast, even if the heavenly king descends to the mortal world today, he can't save you. He muttered secretly, and the murderous look in his eyes was not concealed at all. As soon as they rushed to Qin Feiyang, the 2 stretched out their arms and grabbed at Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang glanced at the 2 and said lightly, I advise you not to touch me. The 2 were slightly stunned. What? With the captain of the guards here, you dare to attack us? Boy, we advise you better be honest, or there won't be anyone to collect your corpse later. The 2 smiled disdainfully and continued to grab at Qin Feiyang. At the same time, the other guards, as well as the waiters of the restaurant, couldn't help but show ridicule. Qin Feiyang glanced at everyone, then looked at the big man with a black mole again, and said lightly, I really don't dare to attack you, but I dare to kill you. As soon as he finished speaking, the murderous look in his eyes surged. He pointed at them in the air. The red sword chi turned into 2 flashes of lightning and pierced through the hearts of the 2 men. Immediately, blood splashed in the sky. Ah! Accompanied by a scream, the 2 men suddenly fell to the ground and died. What? In front of the captain of the guards, he dares to kill. The people present were all stunned. The diners who had escaped before gathered outside the door and looked at this scene with disbelief. They had seen a lot of arrogant people, but it was the first time they met such an arrogant young man. Looking at his appearance, he didn't put the Meng family in his eyes at all. Qin Feiyang lowered his arm, looked up at the captain of the guards, and said with a faint smile, It's so comfortable to sit, why don't you sit? The captain of the guards' face darkened and said, Do you know what the consequences of your actions will be? Qin Feiyang said, I'm all ears. White Fox City is my Meng family's territory. What my Meng family says is what it is. Your current behavior is challenging the dignity of my Meng family. The captain of the guard shouted. So what? Qin Feiyang said. So what? The captain of the guards was so angry that he laughed and said, "You will die a horrible death. Is that so?" Qin Feiyong smiled faintly. He looked at the captain of the guards. This person's aura was even weaker than Steward Meng. And he dared to be arrogant in front of him? Just because he was from the Meng family, did he think that he wouldn't dare to kill him? How naive. Qin Feiyong waved his hand and said, "Don't leave a single one alive. Kill them all." Boom! Wolf King and the pangolin rushed out from his shoulder at almost the same time. Ferocious aura erupted. This was a one-sided massacre. One by one, the guards and waiters fell down. Blood flowed on the ground, dyeing the entire hall red. Corpses were scattered messily on the ground. The pungent smell of blood filled the air. This place was like a Jura hell, and it was too horrible to look at. How dare you be so arrogant?" The captain of the guards looked at this scene, and his anger rushed to the top of his head, making him almost go crazy. Wolf King finished off the last guard, turned to look at him and chuckled. "I still want to kill you. What should I do?" The captain of the guard's pupils constricted, and he turned around without hesitation and fled outside. He was just a captain. His strength was only a 5-star battle monarch. He dared to be so arrogant because he had the Meng family's support. However, the man and 2 beasts in front of him obviously didn't buy it. He had to run. However, facing Wolf King, who was full of killing intent, how could he run away? Wolf King stood up and caught up with him in a few steps. He smashed the captain's head with his claws, and blood splattered on the spot. The hearts of the people gathered outside the gate were surging with waves of shock. They didn't know how to describe this man and 2 beasts. Arrogant? Arrogant? Lawless? None of them were enough. Whoosh! At this moment, Qin Feiyong stood up and walked toward the door. Everyone retreated to the side in fear. After killing so many people, he wanted to leave just like that? The Meng family probably wouldn't agree. Qin Feiyong walked out of the restaurant and walked along the street toward the city lord's mansion. Ding Ming's matter had been settled, and it was time to ask the Meng family for the coordinates. The night in the Forgotten Land was like a piece of ink. Moreover, it was colder than the day. On both sides of the street, there were large lanterns hanging at intervals, emitting a hazy light. The city lord's mansion. In the meeting hall, a middle-aged man wearing a golden tiger skin coat sat on the main seat. He was the patriarch of the Meng family, and also the city lord of White Fox City. Beside him, there was a woman wearing mink fur. Her skin was sparkling and translucent, and it would break with the flick of a finger. She was Meng Tong. In front of the father and daughter, there was a middle-aged man standing respectfully. He was 8 feet tall and had a strong back and a bare waist. He was like a small giant, filled with a valiant aura. The mink fur woman looked at the valiant man and asked, "Have you investigated his background?" "Miss, this subordinate is incompetent." This subordinate only found out that he is a rogue cultivator. The place where he first appeared was the glacier forest near the Lu tribe. The burly man said respectfully, "Glacier forest?" The father and daughter were shocked. "I have heard of the glacier forest's fierce reputation. It is said that there are a large number of War Emperor realm beasts there. It is a forbidden area in this area. Why would they appear there?" Meng Tong frowned. This subordinate is also very puzzled. The burly man shook his head. Meng Tong turned to look at the Meng family lord and said, "Father, I don't dare to do anything. I want that wolf." "Don't worry, it won't be able to escape," the Meng family lord said with a smile, his face full of doting. Then, he looked at the burly man and ordered, "Commander, go and capture them immediately." The burly man said, "I heard that the captain of the first team has already gone to look for them. He will probably bring them here soon." "No. This kid dares to go to the glacier forest. His strength is definitely not simple. It is better for you to go there personally," the Meng family lord said. Meng Tong added, "If he is alive, I want to see him. If he is dead, I want to see his corpse." This subordinate understands. The burly man bowed and replied, then turned and left. But at this moment, a guard hurriedly ran in and said, "Patriarch, Miss Commander, that Qin Feiyong is here. He said that he wants to see the patriarch." The 3 of them suddenly stood up. Meng Tong said, "Where is he?" The guard said, "Just outside the gate." Meng Tong was overjoyed and hurriedly said, "Bring him in immediately." "Yes." The guard stood up, turned around and ran out. "Wait." The burly man stopped him and asked, "Did you see the captain of the first team?" "No." The guard shook his head. "No." The burly man frowned and waved his hand. "Go." Chapter 363. Not long after, Qin Feiyang followed behind the guard and walked into the meeting hall. The burly man and Meng family lord immediately looked at him with a hint of curiosity in their eyes. Meng Tong's gaze fell directly on Wolf King, who was on Qin Feiyang's shoulder. "You can leave." The burly man's eyes flashed, and he waved his hand at the guard. The guard bowed and left. The burly man said, "Qin Feiyang, tell this commander, where is the captain of the first team now?" "Dead." Qin Feiyang said. "What?" The burly man's body trembled. Meng Tong and Meng family lord also frowned. The burly man asked, "How did he die?" Wolf King said, "Do you still need to ask? Of course we killed him." Meng family lord was furious and shouted, "Are you not afraid of death? How dare you kill people of my Meng family?" Qin Feiyang said indifferently, "There is no one in this world who is not afraid of death, but who told them to die? You are really arrogant." Meng family lord slammed the table in front of him, and the table shattered. "Family lord, something bad has happened." At this moment, another guard ran in anxiously, but when he saw Qin Feiyang here, he couldn't help but be stunned. Meng family lord frowned. "What's the matter?" This subordinate just received the news. The captain of the first team, manager Meng of the restaurant, 10 guards, and more than a dozen waiters were all killed. The guard said, "Manager Meng is also dead?" Meng family lord was stunned and said angrily, "Tell me who did it." The guard pointed at Qin Feiyang and said, "It's them." "Damn it." The Meng family lord was furious. Meng Tong's face was also covered in frost. She looked at Qin Feiyang and said coldly, "You are provoking me." Wolf King said disdainfully, "Little Miss Meng, you think too highly of yourself. Why can't we touch a small Meng family?" "The tiny Meng family?" Meng Tong immediately jumped up as if his tail had been stepped on. He said sternly, "Father, quickly kill them." Qin Feiyang looked at her with disgust and said, "Meng family lord, I didn't come to White Fox City to make enemies with your Meng family." The Meng family lord said in a deep voice, "Is there any point in saying this now? It is indeed meaningless. Then I'll be straightforward. Give me the coordinates of Purple Sun Tribe or Sky Thunder City, and I will leave White Fox City immediately." Qin Feiyang said. The three of them looked at each other with a trace of surprise in their eyes. The burly man asked, "Why do you want the coordinates of Purple Sun Tribe and Sky Thunder Pool?" Qin Feiyang said, "That has nothing to do with you. Haha, you are now in the city lord's mansion. Whether you can come out alive or not depends on our wishes. So, you'd better be honest and answer whatever I ask you." The burly man let out a hearty laugh as he shouted in a sinister voice, "Then I'm sorry. I am afraid of everything, but I am not afraid of threats." "But I don't know if you are afraid or not," Qin Feiyang said with a smile. "What do you mean?" The three of them frowned. Qin Feiyang said with a smile, "Assassinating the alchemists in this area will cause public outrage." "How do you know?" Meng Tong was surprised. The burly man's face changed. He immediately looked at Meng Tong and shouted, "Young miss, don't talk nonsense." After being scolded by the burly man, Meng Tong suddenly came to her senses and cursed in her heart. Why was she so stupid? By asking this question, wasn't it equivalent to admitting that there was such a thing in disguise? "Don't hide it. I can't be bothered with your despicable business. As long as you give me the coordinates, I will pretend that I have never been to White Fox City." Qin Feiyang said, "Do we look like idiots to you? I thought you were a talent and wanted to spare your life to serve the Meng family. But now it seems that I have no choice but to silence you. Commander, do it." Meng family lord shouted. Boom! The burly man's body trembled and his aura burst out. He was a 9-star battle monarch. "Go to hell, you little bastard." With a roar, his large fan-like hand slapped towards Qin Feiyang's head with an astonishing astral wind. "You will pay for this." Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed coldly. He activated the return formula and slapped with his palm without dodging. Bang! The two palms collided, and both of them retreated at the same time. How is this possible? Meng family lord and Meng Tong were stunned. The guard commander was a 9-star battle monarch. Qin Feiyang's aura was only that of a 4-star battle monarch. How could he block the guard commander's full-strength palm strike? Furthermore, the two of them were evenly matched. The reason for that was because both of their arms were lacerated. The guard commander was the most shocked. He could clearly feel that the force of his palm strike was completely reflected back. In other words, the other party did not use any strength at all. He was just borrowing the force of his attack. What kind of battle technique was that? Was there such a battle technique in the world? I'd like to try again. He stepped on the ground, stopped his body, and rushed toward Qin Feiyang again. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed fiercely, and he also rushed forward. The two of them raised their other hand at the same time and slapped each other. The situation from before reappeared. Sure enough, he's borrowing the force of his attack. The burly man's heart trembled. But then, a sneer appeared on his face as he stared at Qin Feiyang and said, "My Meng family has alchemists. We have as many healing pills as we want. Do you have any?" He took out a healing pill and waved it in front of Qin Feiyang as if he was showing off. Then he threw it into his mouth. Qin Feiyang was stunned. Wolf King and the pangolin also looked at each other. How could he show off an ordinary healing pill in front of a top-grade alchemist? Was this person's head kicked by a donkey? What a joke. However, Qin Feiyang did not say anything. He took out a healing pill with 2 veins and threw it into his mouth at lightning speed. It was so fast that even the Meng family lord could not see it. The injuries on both of his arms began to heal at a speed visible to the naked eye. The Meng family lord and the other two were still wondering what kind of pill Qin Feiyang had taken. But when they saw the situation, they turned pale with fright. What kind of pill did he take? How could his recovery speed be so fast? Clang! Qin Feiyang waved his hand, and Chang Shui appeared out of thin air. He grabbed it in his hand and pounced on the commander of the guards. This was the advantage of high-quality healing pills. The speed of recovery was faster than the commander of the guards. He could seize the opportunity and quickly counterattack before the commander of the guards could make a move. Seeing this, the commander of the guards instinctively took a step back with a trace of panic in his eyes. But then his face twisted. He was a 9-star battle king. How could he be afraid of a 4-star battle king? His pride did not allow him to retreat, let alone be afraid. "Family lord, don't make a move. Kill." Without turning his head, he growled at the Meng family's patriarch, and a white beast shadow appeared behind him. That was a snow mountain ape. It had 2 heads and 4 bell-sized eyes that flickered with a terrifying ferocious light. As soon as the battle soul appeared, it beat its chest and stomped its feet. With an extremely terrifying ferocious aura, it pounced on Qin Feiyang. However, Qin Feiyang turned a blind eye to it. "How dare you activate your battle soul in front of me? Are you looking for trouble?" Wolf King chuckled. His whole body emitted a golden light, and a golden beast shadow appeared out of thin air. Boom! With a loud bang, the entire conference hall collapsed. The battle soul of the commander of the guards was directly swallowed by the golden beast shadow. At the same time, Qin Feiyang's murderous aura was monstrous. He stabbed the lower abdomen of the commander of the guards. Then, he disappeared without a trace in an instant. The conference hall was built with a kind of black stone bricks. For a moment, countless gravel flew in all directions, smashing deep pits on the ground, and a loud rumbling sound was heard. Dust filled the air and nothing could be seen. And in the loud noise, there was a painful scream that echoed endlessly. That was the scream of the commander of the guards. Hearing the scream, the Meng family lord's expression changed abruptly. He protected Meng Tong by his side and continuously attacked, shattering the falling stone bricks one after another. A moment later, he finally found the commander of the guards. However, at this moment, the commander of the guards had already been smashed beyond recognition by the falling stone bricks. Even his body was about to turn into a pile of mud. His breathing and heartbeat had also stopped. He had already died. Damn bastard! The Meng family lord was furious. The aura of the war emperor erupted. The battle chi was like a tide, sweeping in all directions. The collapsed hall was instantly reduced to ashes. Following closely, with a wave of his hand, a gust of wind rose, and the billowing dust and smoke surged into the sky. This place became clear all of a sudden. However, there was no trace of Qin Feiyang. The Meng family lord scanned his surroundings, but didn't even see a ghost. He immediately roared, "Little bastard, get out here! What's going on?" The great council hall actually collapsed. Could it be that it's Qin Feiyang's masterpiece again? When the guards heard the news, they ran over from all directions, their faces full of shock and bewilderment. Meng Tong looked at the guards and asked, "Have you seen Qin Feiyang?" "No." Everyone shook their heads. "Bastard! How did he disappear in the blink of an eye?" The father and daughter's faces were as gloomy as water. Not only did he kill the commander of the guards, but he also tore down the great council hall. To the Meng family, this was simply a great humiliation. "I'll give you half an hour to find them. Otherwise, all of you will die," the Meng family lord shouted, his killing intent soaring into the sky. "Yes, let's go." The guards' bodies and minds trembled as they immediately began to search. Inside the castle, the pangolin asked, "Qin Feiyang, what do we do now?" The Meng family was completely enraged. There was no way they could get the coordinates. "What are you afraid of? Let's find a chance to go out and kill all the Meng family's minions." Wolf King's eyes flashed with a fierce light. "I'm not afraid. I'm worried that I won't be able to get the coordinates. Brother Wolf, you have to know that Qin Feiyang only has 5 years. If we don't return in 5 years, the Black Fury poison will act up. At that time, even the gods won't be able to save him." The pangolin said. The pangolin is right. Although 5 years is a long time, if we don't have the coordinates, we won't be able to reach the Purple Sun Tribe or Sky Thunder City, let alone find the flame of heavenly thunder. Fatso, who was organizing the Chengkuan bag, interrupted. Chapter 364. Qin Feiyang pondered for a while and smiled. "Actually, you don't have to worry about me. Boss, don't be too relaxed. If you really kick the bucket, who will Fat Lord follow in the future? Fat Lord still wants to be the Imperial General of the Great Qin Empire." Fatso said. "Imperial General?" The pangolin widened its eyes and said in surprise, "Qin Feiyang, are you from the Imperial capital?" Wolf King stared at it unkindly and said, "Little follower, if you want to live, you have to understand one thing. Don't ask what you shouldn't ask." "That's right. The more you know, the worse it will be for you." Fatso also realized that he had let it slip. The pangolin shrunk its neck, but its eyes were filled with thoughts. Qin Feiyang rolled his eyes at Fatso and said unhappily, "If I don't let you be the Imperial General, will you want me to die?" "What are you talking about? We are brothers. If anyone wants to kill you, they will have to step over Fat Lord's corpse first." The fatty patted his chest, looking as if he was ready to risk his life, and made a solemn vow. "That's enough." Qin Feiyang rolled his eyes and said with a smile, "Let's go into seclusion for a while." "What? You're still going into seclusion?" Fatso, Wolf King, and the pangolin all looked at him in disbelief. This guy, is he really not worried at all? Even Lu Hong opened her eyes. There was a trace of worry in her bright eyes. "Even if we can't get the coordinates here, we can still go to other areas. The Forgotten Land is so big. I don't believe that only the Meng family knows the coordinates of the Purple Sun Tribe and Sky Thunder City." Qin Feiyang said with a smile. Seeing that Fatso and the others still wanted to say something, he waved his hand and said, "Cut the crap. Go into seclusion." Then, he walked to the iron box and began to draw the 4th stroke of the battle formula. Although he had won the last few battles, he still felt that it was very strenuous. This was especially true when he fought with the 9-star battle monarch. Every time he fought, both sides would suffer great losses. Therefore, he had to quickly break through another small realm. When he broke through to the 5-star Battle King realm, he would be able to crush a 9-star Battle King with the power of the return character art. He might even be able to resist a 1-star Combat Emperor. Seeing this, Wolf King and Fatso didn't say anything else. Wolf King took out a Supreme Grade Battle Chi pill and began to refine it. Fatso also continued to check the Cosmos bags. The pangolin looked on enviously. It eagerly approached Fatso. Before it could speak, Fatso said, "Can't you see that Fat Lord is very busy? Go away." The pangolin's body stiffened and it resentfully retreated. It rolled its eyes and moved closer to Wolf King. "Brother Wolf, look. No matter what, this king is still your little brother. If there are benefits, shouldn't you think of this king? You must have a lot of battle chi pills. Can you give this king some?" It licked its face and smiled obsequiously. Wolf King glanced at it and said, "Look at yourself. Do you look like a little brother?" The pangolin nodded repeatedly and said, "Yes, yes, yes. This king was wrong in the past. This king will definitely listen to you in the future." "Who would believe you?" Wolf King snorted coldly. The pangolin vowed, "Brother Wolf, you have to believe this king. This king has always been a man of his word. I will never go back on my words." Tsk. Wolf King's eyes were filled with disdain. However, he also took out a pile of battle chi pills from the cosmos bag around his neck. "Take it. After all, you're following us now. I don't want you to drag us down." Wolf King said, "Thank you, Brother Wolf. Brother Wolf, don't worry. I will work hard to cultivate." The pangolin looked at the battle chi pills with shining eyes. Outside, the entire White Fox City was in chaos. All the guards of the city lord's mansion were dispatched to search for Qin Feiyang throughout the city. The city gates and city walls were also completely sealed off. They could only enter, not leave. But as the days passed, not even a shadow was seen, let alone a person. Did he disappear into thin air? It was impossible. He must be hiding somewhere. Later, the Meng family lord even issued a bounty. Anyone who reported would be rewarded with 1 million gold coins. If they could capture him alive and bring him to the city lord's mansion, not only would they be rewarded with 10 million gold coins, but they would also be rewarded with a red fire glass pill. As soon as the bounty was issued, everyone in the city went crazy. They went from house to house to look for Qin Feiyang. A month later, a burly man wearing a black tiger pelt rushed back from outside the city, looking travel-worn. He immediately found the Meng family lord. In a hall, the Meng family lord looked at the burly man and asked, "How is it, have you found out?" "Yes. I've asked the people of the He family tribe. They said that Qin Feiyang has an ability that allows him to disappear and reappear suddenly. It's because of this ability that the He family tribe can only watch him do evil. But it's said that he can't move when he disappears." The burly man said, "What do you mean?" The Meng family lord frowned. The burly man said, "It means that he has been staying at the place where he disappeared." The Meng family lord was surprised. He stayed at the place where he disappeared, but no one could see or sense his aura. How could there be such a bizarre thing in the world? "Family lord, no matter where he is hiding, at least we know that he is still in the Great Council Hall." The burly man said with a cold light in his eyes, "That's right. As long as he is still in the Great Council Hall, he can't escape. Take your men and surround the Great Council Hall immediately. Don't let a fly go. As long as you can capture them, you will be the commander of the guards in the future." The Meng family lord said, "Thank you, family lord. This subordinate will definitely capture them and live up to family lord's high expectations." The burly man was overjoyed. He bowed and thanked Meng family lord before turning around and leaving quickly. The collapsed Great Council Hall had been rebuilt. The burly man ran over with a group of guards. There were 50 to 60 of them. The burly man glanced at the Great Council Hall, waved his hand and shouted, "Quickly surround the Great Council Hall. Don't let them escape." "Yes," the group of guards responded. Some people surrounded the Great Council Hall. Some people entered the Great Council Hall. In short, there were people both inside and outside. A short guard came up to the burly man and said with a flattering smile, "Brother Meng Cheng, congratulations. Please take care of me in the future." Meng Cheng shook his head and said, "It's too early to congratulate me. Let's capture Qin Feiyang first." With Brother Meng Cheng personally taking action, won't it be a piece of cake? Isn't that right, everyone? The short guard shouted. Yes. The other guards responded loudly with fawning expressions on their faces. All right. Be serious. When I really become the commander, I definitely won't forget my brothers. Meng Cheng chuckled. In his opinion, the position of the commander was already set in stone. There was no way he could run away from it. Ah! But at this moment, painful screams suddenly sounded in the great council hall. What happened? Let's go in and take a look. Meng Cheng's expression changed as he rushed into the great council hall. The guards also followed. However, as soon as they reached the door of the great council hall, they stopped in unison and looked inside in horror. They saw a wolf more than 7 meters tall with bulging muscles all over its body. It was like a killing machine as it crazily slaughtered the guards in the great council hall. Its snow-white fur had already been dyed blood-red. It was Wolf King. As early as yesterday, it had already broken through to the 5-star Battle King realm. It was bored when it heard the commotion outside and became excited. It asked Qin Feiyong to send it out of the castle. With the cultivation of a 5-star Battle King and the superior battle art, Berserker's Fury, it now had the combat power of an 8-star Battle King. The strongest of these guards was only a 5-star Battle King. Most of them were 3-star and 4-star Battle Kings. Although some of them had battle arts, they were basically inferior battle arts. How could they be a match for Wolf King? Killing them was as easy as cutting vegetables. What a terrifying strength! The guards outside the great council hall revealed a look of horror in their eyes. There are so many of us. What are we afraid of? Hurry up and inform the patriarch. The rest of you follow me and install it. As long as we catch it, Qin Feiyong will definitely not be able to escape. Meng Cheng shouted. The short guard immediately turned and ran away. Follow me. Meng Cheng roared and took the lead to rush into the great council hall. Battle aura surged. He used his battle art and charged toward Wolf King. He was a 7-star Battle King. With his inferior battle art, his strength was comparable to Wolf King's. However, his combat instincts were not as good as Wolf King's. Moreover, in the same realm, beasts were stronger than humans. This was because the bodies of beasts were naturally strong and powerful. However, this could not be generalized. Some people's physical bodies were no worse than those of ferocious beasts after being tempered. However, this was a minority. Meng Cheng was obviously not this kind of person. After a few rounds, he was hit by Wolf King's claws on his lower body. The intense pain caused by his balls being crushed almost made him faint. The Wolf King seized the opportunity and snapped his throat in one bite. Seeing this, the other guards no longer had the courage to continue fighting. They began to flee. Wolf King seemed to be possessed by the god of death. He killed one person with every step he took. Blood was everywhere as he killed his way out of the main hall. In less than 10 breaths, all the guards fell to the ground and their blood flowed like a river. Ow! After killing, it glanced at the corpses on the ground and howled at the sky. Whoosh! Qin Feiyong appeared out of thin air and came to the main hall. He brought Wolf King to the castle. The man and the wolf disappeared in less than 3 breaths. The Meng family's patriarch arrived with the short guard and landed outside the main hall. Looking at the bloody scene around him, the short guard was paralyzed on the spot. His face was pale. A pool of water flowed out from under his crotch. The smell of urine permeated the air. Crack! Meng family lord's eyes were red. His 10 fingers were tightly clenched together. These were all the elite disciples of the Meng family. However, in just a short while all of them had died. Unforgivable. Absolutely unforgivable. Little beast, if you have the guts, come out and fight me fair and square. He roared at the sky, his anger soaring to the sky. However, no one responded to him at all. Call someone over immediately and bury the bodies. From now on, I will personally guard this place and wait for them to come out. After an unknown amount of time, the Meng family's patriarch took a deep breath and instructed the short guard. Then he strode into the conference hall. However, he did not know that Qin Feiyong had already left the main hall. Chapter 365. Inside the castle. With the Meng family lord overseeing the meeting hall, the restless Wolf King could only continue to cultivate. Qin Feiyong's black demon poison also acted up again. The sudden sharp pain from his heart almost made him faint. Fortunately, he calculated the time and was prepared, so he took the transparent liquid in time. 5 days later. Boom! His arm trembled, and at the same time his aura erupted. His cultivation realm was like a volcanic eruption, climbing to the 5-star Battle King. Wolf King opened his eyes and asked, "Are you done copying?" "Yes." Qin Feiyong nodded. The fourth stroke of the battle formula was like a star, shining with a dazzling light. Wolf King urged, "Then hurry up and refine the Juku Yellow Dragon Pill. As long as they took the Juku Yellow Dragon Pill, their cultivation would soar." "No, the level of the Nether Devil Flame is not high enough to refine a Juku Yellow Dragon Pill with 2 patterns." Qin Feiyong shook his head. The Juku Yellow Dragon Pill was the same as the Scarlet Fire-colored glass pill. Everyone could only take it once in their life. A Juku Yellow Dragon Pill with 1 pattern could only break through a small realm. So, if they took the Juku Yellow Dragon Pill now, it would be a waste of this opportunity. Wolf King said, "Then when do we have to return to the Holy Temple?" "There's no need to wait until then." Qin Feiyong waved his hand, and a light flashed across his eyes. "No need." Wolf King was stunned and asked in surprise, "What do you mean?" Boom! At this moment, Fatso also broke through to the 3-star Battle King. He opened his eyes and chuckled, "Brother Wolf, why are you so stupid? Think about it carefully. Why did we come to the Forgotten Land this time?" Wolf King said angrily, "Nonsense, of course it's for the Heavenly Thunder Flame." As soon as he finished speaking, Wolf King suddenly came to a realization and said with a sinister smile, "Brother understands. You want to use the Heavenly Thunder Flame to refine the Juku Yellow Dragon Pill." "Yes. The Sacred Hall's alchemy fire is only at the 3rd grade, but boss can refine a pill with 2 alchemy veins. The Heavenly Thunder Flame is a 6th grade pill fire. Who knows, it might be able to refine 3, 4, or even 5 pill veins. The power of the 9 Songs Yellow Dragon Pill will naturally increase exponentially, so there's no need to be in such a hurry." Fatso said, "That's right." Wolf King nodded repeatedly. A 9-melody Yellow Dragon Pill with 2 pill veins could increase one's cultivation by 2 minor realms, not to mention 3, 4, or 5. He couldn't help but feel excited just thinking about it. The pangolin looked at them in confusion and asked, Can you explain to this king what the 9 Tunes Yellow Dragon Pill is?" Wolf King smiled mysteriously and said, "It's a miraculous pill that will leave you dumbfounded. Can't you make it clear?" The pangolin was helpless. Fatso said disdainfully, "You're not one of us. Why should we tell you?" Hey, you can't say that. Yes, this king admits that there's still a gap between us. But now we're at least grasshoppers on the same rope. Can't we trust each other more?" The pangolin said unhappily. "Only a ghost would believe you." Fatso and Wolf King glanced at it disdainfully at the same time. It wasn't so easy to integrate into this small team. If the pangolin didn't show sincerity, it would probably be impossible for a lifetime, not to mention getting benefits from Qin Feiyong. Qin Feiyong glanced at the pangolin and asked Fatso, "Have you sorted out those Chenkuan bags?" "Yes." Fatso nodded. Wolf King said, "What treasures are there?" "There's no treasure, just a lot of medicinal herbs and gold coins." "Let's not talk about the other medicinal herbs. There are medicinal herbs for the potential pill, 9 Tunes Yellow Dragon Pill, and Red Fire-colored glass pill. There's a total of more than 1 billion gold coins. There's also a lot of weapons and pills, but their value isn't high." Fatso said. Wolf King said, "No battle arts?" "No." Fatso shook his head. Wolf King's eyes suddenly had a trace of disappointment. Qin Feiyong said, "There's still a long way to go. We can slowly think of a way to create battle arts in the future. The most important thing now is to work hard to improve our own strength." Fatso said, "Boss, since your talent is so good, why don't you create a few battle arts yourself?" "Create?" Qin Feiyong was stunned and said with a wry smile, "Creating battle arts requires the right time, place, and people. None of them can be missing. I've heard that some people can't create a battle art, even after spending their whole life painstakingly. But some people suddenly comprehend a battle art. In short, creating battle arts can't be forced. It all depends on luck," Qin Feiyong said. Fatso and Wolf King looked at each other. They didn't expect that creating battle arts would be so difficult. "Okay, you guys continue to cultivate. I'll go out and meet the Meng family head." Qin Feiyong's mind stirred, and he disappeared without a trace. At the same time, outside the Great Council Hall. "Who is it?" Qin Feiyong's appearance immediately alarmed the guards in front of the hall. "It's you, family head. Qin Feiyong has appeared. When they saw that it was Qin Feiyong, the few guards' faces changed and shouted loudly, "Whoosh!" The next moment, the Meng family's patriarch rushed out of the hall. "You're finally willing to come out. Give me your life." His eyes were filled with bone-piercing killing intent. "Wait!" Qin Feiyong stretched out his hand and shouted. However, Meng family lord turned a deaf ear to him. His battle chi surged and he angrily punched towards Qin Feiyong. "Then I'll try to see if the current return technique can compete with the War Emperor." Qin Feiyong's eyes flashed with a radiant light. He raised his big hand, and a golden light burst out from his palm. In an instant, the fist and the palm met. Boom! Immediately, a terrifying airwave with the two as the center rolled out in all directions. The surrounding guards were all blown away and blood spurted out of their mouths. At the same time, accompanied by a series of loud noises, the land within a radius of hundreds of meters was instantly razed to the ground. The Great Council Hall also collapsed again. Puff! Qin Feiyong's face turned pale and blood kept spurting out of his mouth. He flew out like a meteorite. His arm was shattered on the spot. On the other hand, Meng family lord, although he was also pushed back by the return technique, the injury on his arm was not very serious. It was just that his skin and flesh were cracked. Sure enough, no matter how heaven-defying the return technique was, in the face of overwhelming combat power, it couldn't defeat the strong. But even so, the power of the return technique made Qin Feiyong very satisfied. Because there was a huge gap between a combat emperor and a combat king. This gap was an insurmountable gap. It was very difficult to break through, but from the current situation, although he couldn't win, he wouldn't be instantly killed when facing a one-star combat emperor in the future. In the blink of an eye, accompanied by a bang, Qin Feiyong was like a meteorite, smashing into the ground dozens of meters away, creating a deep pit on the ground. His body seemed to be falling apart. Swish! Meng family lord swooped down and landed on top of the deep pit. He looked down at Qin Feiyong and said, "If you have any last words, say it quickly." Last words? Qin Feiyong climbed up in a sorry state and kept vomiting blood. He raised his head and looked up. There was still no fear in his eyes. He said indifferently, "You should know very well that you can't kill me." Meng family lord's face darkened. That's right. He really didn't have the slightest confidence. But if he didn't kill this person, the resentment in his heart would not disappear. "I'll say it again. Give me the coordinates and I'll leave immediately. Otherwise, I'll fight to the death with the Meng family. Now you know what I'm capable of. If I really do that, you'll be the ones to suffer in the end." Qin Feiyong said. "How dare you threaten me?" Meng family lord's eyes were filled with murderous intent. He suddenly raised his big hand. Battle chi surged, and a huge golden hand appeared out of nowhere. Die! Following his roar, the big golden hand carried an astonishing ferocious aura and slapped toward Qin Feiyong. "You asked for it. Don't blame me for being merciless." Qin Feiyong was also angry and disappeared without a trace. Boom! The big golden hand fell, and the ground shook violently. Cracks spread in all directions. Damn it! The head of the Meng family was seething with anger. Where is this little bastard hiding? Even a combat king couldn't do anything to him. If this continued, the Meng family would become a joke sooner or later. Inside the castle, Qin Feiyong consumed a regeneration pill. Then his shattered technique started to slowly regenerate. Little Qin Zi, don't talk nonsense with him. Just kill them all. Wolf King's eyes flashed with a ferocious light. Let me think about it first. Qin Feiyong lowered his head and pondered. A moment later, murderous intent flashed in his eyes. The first step is to find out the location of the trading pavilion's warehouse. The second step is to loot the warehouse. Don't leave a single hair behind. The third step is to assassinate the Meng family and leave White Fox City directly after that. But remember, don't kill the innocent. Qin Feiyong said. Good, good, good. I've been waiting for you to say that. Wolf King shouted excitedly. Fatso was also excited. As for the pangolin, it was also eager to give it a try. Wolf King suddenly said, "The warehouse is not a place where ordinary people can enter. Do you have any good ideas?" "Yes, let's find Ming Tong," Qin Feiyong said. "Good idea. Wolf King's eyes lit up. Meng Tong is the pearl of the Meng family. As long as she leads the way, we can definitely sneak in. Don't let her lead the way. Qin Feiyong shook his head. Wolf King was puzzled. What do you mean? Fatso said, Boss, you mean to let someone replace Meng Tong? Wolf King said angrily. Can't you explain it all at once? Think about it. If Meng Tong leads the way, even if she is held hostage by us, she will definitely find a way to escape or obstruct us. At that time, if we are not careful, we will be doomed eternally. But if we imprison Meng Tong and make someone look like Meng Tong, won't we be able to deceive everyone? Fatso spoke frankly with assurance. His thoughts were almost the same as Qin Feiyong's. The pangolin was stunned and said with a flattering smile, Fat bro, awesome. Of course. Fatso smiled proudly. Wolf King said, capturing Meng Tong is not difficult, but who will replace her? Don't we have a ready-made person here? Fatso chuckled and turned to look at Lu Hong. Lu Hong opened her eyes and said helplessly, Damn Fatso, you are pushing me into the fire pit. Although she had been cultivating, she had heard the conversation between Qin Feiyong and the others. Fatso said with a smile, if you don't sacrifice the child, you won't get the wolf. Chapter 366. Fatso heard this. His fat face twitched and he lamented, a woman's heart is indeed the most vicious. Then don't provoke her in the future. Qin Feiyong said with a smile. He looked at Lu Hong and said, How's your strength recovering? Lu Hong said, 2-star martial grandmaster. So fast. Qin Feiyong was surprised. But after thinking about it, he understood. Not only did she open the 3rd level of the door of potential, but she also had a chi-gathering pill with 2 patterns. In addition, her foundation was still there. Wolf King said, if I remember correctly, Meng Tong is only a 1-star martial grandmaster. Qin Feiyong waved his hand and said, it's just a small difference. It doesn't matter. Wolf King asked, then how do we get out now? Old Dog Meng had been guarding outside. Once they went out, they would definitely be attacked by him. Wait patiently. There will always be a chance. Qin Feiyong smiled, walked to the iron box, and continued to copy the 5th stroke. Outside, Meng family lord sat cross-legged beside the deep pit. He was determined to wait until the end. Even the matters in the city were handled here. Time passed day by day. Another month passed. Qin Feiyong was about to copy the 5th stroke of the battle formula. However, the head of the Meng family was still waiting outside. But on the 2nd day, the short guard hurriedly ran to Meng family lord, bowed and said, Family lord, the leaders of the 3 major tribes want to see you. What? Meng family lord suddenly stood up and said in surprise, Why are they here? The short guard shook his head and said, I don't know. They didn't come earlier or later. Why did they come at this time? What do they want to do? Meng family lord was a little angry. Could it be that Qin Feiyong had already leaked the news of them assassinating the alchemist? Something's not right. Qin Feiyong had been trapped here all this time and had no chance to leak any information. The short guard asked, Master, are you going to meet him or not? Isn't that obvious? The 3 great leaders are here, how can I not see them? But if I leave, Qin Feiyong might take the opportunity to slip away. With your strength you can't stop them. The Meng family lord was quite annoyed. The short guard pondered for a while and said, Why don't we just let the old family head come out of seclusion? The old family head was Meng family lord's father and Meng Tong's grandfather. He was the only alchemist in this area. The Meng family lord shook his head and said, No, father is at the critical moment of breaking through to the 4-star combat emperor realm. We cannot disturb him. The short guard asked, Then what should we do? The Meng family lord thought for a while and said, Call them over. Yes. The short guard responded, turned around and left quickly. After a while, he led the 2 men and the woman to the Meng family's patriarch. One of the 2 men was a black-haired old man. He was emaciated and wore a large black robe made of snakeskin. Deep in his sunken eye sockets, his dark eyes shone with a gloomy and cold luster. The other man was a big man, more than 8 feet tall. In the cold weather, his upper body was bare. His skin was dark. His muscles were bulging, filled with an explosive power. The woman was also quite old. Her back was hunched, and her old hand was holding a pitch-black walking stick with a dragon head. The aura of the three men was unfathomable. The Meng family lord went up to them and said with a smile, "Welcome, welcome. Please forgive me for not coming out to greet you. Brother Meng, you're too polite. We are the ones who should be apologizing for our intrusion," Li Jie said. "We only hope that Brother Meng won't chase us away." The three of them laughed. "Don't say that. It's my honor to have the three of you here. Come, let's talk in the hall." The Meng family lord stepped aside and made a gesture of invitation. The Great Council Hall had been rebuilt long ago. However, this was the second time it had been rebuilt. Every time he saw the Great Council Hall, the anger in the Meng family lord's heart burned stronger. The three leaders smiled and looked at the deep pit next to them. A hint of suspicion flashed in their eyes. Then they walked into the Great Council Hall. The Meng family lord turned around and looked at the short guard. He ordered, "You stay here and watch. Call me as soon as they come out." "Yes." The short guard bowed and replied. The Meng family lord glanced at the deep pit, then turned around and walked into the Great Council Hall. The short guard also stared at the deep pit. A month passed. A thick layer of snow had accumulated in the deep pit. The bottom of the pit was frozen. The castle was buried under the ice. The three leaders, Qin Feiyang, had stopped copying. He stood beside the iron box and fell into deep thought. "Boss," from the Meng family lord's tone, "the three leaders should be very strong. The tribe they belong to must be a big tribe in this area. Should we take this opportunity to tell them about the Meng family's assassination of the alchemist?" Fatso said. Qin Feiyang said, "I'm also thinking about this, but I don't think it's feasible." "Why?" Fatso was puzzled. "First, we don't know where we came from. The three leaders might not believe us. Second, even if they believe us, they won't blame the Meng family now. Because in this area, only the old leader of the Meng family is an alchemist. If this person dies, then no one will be able to refine pills. This is a situation that no one wants to see. Moreover, you heard it yourself. The old leader of the Meng family is about to break through to the 4-star combat emperor realm. If the three leaders aren't confident, they won't turn against the Meng family." Qin Feiyang expressed his worries. "That's true." Fatso nodded. He couldn't help but furrow his brows. "Let's find Mengtong first. Let's talk about other things after we loot the warehouse." "Fatso, open your wings and go out to help," Qin Feiyang said. "Why, Fat Lord? It's too dangerous." "Fat Lord won't go." Fatso shook his head. His face began to turn pale. "Cut the crap." Qin Feiyang glared at him and grabbed Fatso's arm. In a flash, they appeared at the bottom of the deep pit. The layer of ice that buried the castle also shattered with a cracking sound. Seeing this, the short guard was shocked and hurriedly shouted, "Home!" But before he could shout, Qin Feiyang took a big stride forward and rushed out of the deep pit. He smashed his head with a palm strike. "Ah!" Cries of agony could be heard. "It's Qin Feiyang. Family head, hurry up. Qin Feiyang is coming out." When the guards outside the hall saw this situation, they immediately started to make a ruckus. "Hurry up!" Qin Feiyang shouted to Fatso. "What a tough life!" Fatso wailed. He immediately opened his wings and flew out of the deep pit. He grabbed Qin Feiyang and rushed into the sky. At the same time he asked, "Where are we going?" "Anywhere," Qin Feiyang said. The most important thing now was to get rid of the Meng family lord's pursuit. Whoosh! Fatso glanced down and swooped toward a garden in front of him. There were hundreds of flowers in the garden. There were green trees, pavilions, and a clear stream. In addition, there were many maids and guards. But before he swooped down, Qin Feiyang took Fatso to the ancient castle again. Because they were too fast, the maids and guards did not notice them. Although it was slow, everything happened in the blink of an eye. Meng family lord rushed out of the hall and glanced at the deep pit. When he saw the body of the short guard, his face immediately darkened. He turned his head and looked at the guards at the door. He shouted coldly, "Where are they?" However, at this moment the guards were all dumbstruck. The three leaders also walked out of the hall. Their eyes were full of confusion. "I'm sorry, I have some private matters to attend to." Meng family lord smiled apologetically at the three leaders. He looked at the guards and shouted, "Answer me, Why are you still standing there? The guards suddenly came back to their senses. They pointed to the sky and said in unison. They flew up. Flew? Meng family lord was stunned. Then he burned with anger and said coldly, "How dare you trick me? How dare you? How could the warlord fly?" Therefore, he thought that these guards were fooling him. Family lord were not lying. They really flew up. There's a fatso with Qin Feiyang. He has a pair of black wings on his back. The guards hurriedly knelt on the ground and said in horror, "Wings." Meng family lord was stunned. How could there be wings on a human's back? Whoosh! He flew into the sky and stood above the meeting hall, looking in all directions. However, he did not even find a shadow. Damn it! He cursed and looked down at the three leaders. A cold light flashed in the depths of his eyes. If these three people did not suddenly come to him, Qin Feiyang would not have been able to escape. If he did not know these three people very well, he would have suspected that they were here to help Qin Feiyang. Whoosh! He swooped down and landed in front of the hall. He shouted to the guards. They must still be in the city lord's mansion. Immediately send down the order to lock down the city lord's mansion and strictly investigate. Yes. The guards responded respectfully and hurriedly left. The three leaders looked at each other. The old man in the snakeskin looked at Meng family lord and asked, "Brother Meng, what is Qin Feiyang capable of that makes you so helpless?" Qin Feiyang had long been a celebrity in White Fox City. Over the past 2 months, all the tribes within a radius of 100 miles had heard of his name. The three leaders' tribes were nearby, so they naturally knew of him. This time they came to White Fox City to buy some pills. On the other hand, they wanted to meet this young man who had given the Meng family a headache. Unfortunately, they came out a step too late and did not see his face clearly. "The three of you don't know. This little bastard has a mysterious treasure that can hide. Every time we find him, he hides. Otherwise, I would have crippled him long ago. How could I let him be so arrogant until now?" Meng family lord said angrily. "Mysterious treasure?" A glint flashed across the eyes of the three leaders at the same time. "Let's not talk about it anymore. Let's go in. It's not easy for the three of you to come to White Fox City. Don't let these small things spoil your mood." Meng family lord took a deep breath and said, "Brother Meng is right. No matter how much an ant jumps, it will always be an ant. It will never be able to defeat an elephant." The burly man laughed. Hearing this, the Meng family's patriarch laughed. Indeed, how could this giant elephant of the Meng family be brought down by a few small ants? The four of them walked into the meeting hall while talking and laughing. Meanwhile, all the entrances of the city lord's mansion were guarded by guards. Chapter 367. About half an hour passed. Qin Feiyang appeared out of thin air beside a small tree in the garden. Then, he hid behind the small tree and observed the surroundings. This garden was right behind the great council hall. There were a few winding paths in the garden. Every 10 meters or so there was a guard standing guard. At the end of the path there was a hall. It was more than 10 meters tall and had a total of 3 floors. At the door there were more than 10 guards standing side by side on both sides. They looked straight ahead as if they were guarding something. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed, and he quietly sneaked behind a guard. He reached out his big hand, covered the guard's mouth and entered the castle. Where is this? As soon as he entered the castle, the guard was dumbfounded. Qin Feiyang pushed him away and said indifferently, "If you don't want to die, tell me where Meng Tong lives." This voice, it's Qin Feiyang. The guard's body trembled and he quickly turned around. When he saw Qin Feiyang and Wolf King, his face immediately turned pale. Suddenly, he roared, "Someone there here!" Qin Feiyang and the others were stunned. Was this person stupid? Didn't he know that he couldn't hear the commotion outside? That's right. He really didn't know. Fatso mocked, "Don't waste your energy. Even if you shout until your throat is hoarse, no one will hear you. Come and save me. Answer me if you hear me." The guard didn't believe it and shouted crazily. In the end, when he shouted himself hoarse and saw that no one came to save him, he finally believed it. He was also desperate. Plop! He knelt on the ground and begged, "Lords, I'm just a small fry. If you need anything, go to the patriarch. Don't make things difficult for me." Qin Feiyong said, "As long as you tell me where Mengtong lives, I'll spare your life. You want to harm Miss? No, I can't tell you. Otherwise, even if you don't kill me, the patriarch will kill me." The guard shook his head. Qin Feiyong said, "Stubborn white-eyed wolf, use your ultimate move." Wolf King laughed sinisterly. The guard's body and mind were trembling, and his face was filled with panic. The way Wolf King dealt with Steward Meng in that restaurant had long been known by everyone. Now, everyone in White Fox City knew that its so-called ultimate move, the so-called holy water, was a pool of urine. Seeing Wolf King walking towards him, the guard hurriedly said, "Wait, I'll talk, I'll tell you everything." Fatso shouted, "Then hurry up." The guard said, "Miss lives in the main hall in the garden." Fatso said, "Exact location." The guard's gaze trembled as he said, "Third floor, the room on the far left." Qin Feiyong asked, "What about your old family head?" "I don't know about that. Only the patriarch and the young miss know." "Lords, I've said everything that needs to be said. Can you let me go now?" The guard said, "All right, I'll let you go immediately." Fatso nodded. He walked in front of the guard, took out a dagger like lightning, and cut open the guard's throat. Let go? How was that possible? If he really let him go, this person would definitely go find the Meng family lord. Qin Feiyong took out a mirage form pill and changed into the guard's appearance, then put on the guard's beast skin. Following that, he then left the castle and walked towards the palace in a grand manner. "Meng-san, why aren't you guarding over there? What are you doing here?" The dozen or so guards guarding the door all looked at him in confusion. Qin Feiyong laughed. "The three great leaders are here. The patriarch asked me to come over and call the young miss over." One of the guards was puzzled. "What are they here for?" "I don't know either." Qin Feiyong shrugged his shoulders. The guard said, "All right, you can go in. Keep your voice down, don't disturb the madam." "There's still a madam?" Qin Feiyong was secretly startled. He calmly walked into the main hall and went straight to the third floor. A moment later, he stopped in front of a door on the far left and gently knocked on the door. "Who is it?" A crisp voice could be heard coming from the inside. It was Mengtong's voice. Qin Feiyong said, "Young miss, the patriarch wants you to go to the Great Council Hall." Not long after, Mengtong opened the door and walked out, asking, "Did father say why he wants me to go there?" "He didn't say." Qin Feiyong shook his head. "Then let's go." After Mengtong closed the door, she walked towards the stairs. Qin Feiyong stepped behind her and covered her mouth with his hand. In the next moment, the two of them appeared in the castle. This sudden turn of events caused Mengtong's expression to change. When Qin Feiyong let go of his hand, she immediately shouted, "You really have guts, you actually dare to coerce this young Mississippi." Fatso said, "Hurry up and put away your young miss airs for Fat Lord." Mengtong raised her eyebrows and turned to look at Qin Feiyong and the others. "Why are you guys here?" At that moment, her face changed color. Although Qin Feiyong had changed his appearance and she did not recognize him, she recognized Wolf King and the pangolin at a glance. The Wolf King chuckled. "Welcome to hell." "Hell?" Mengtong's face turned pale. She glanced around and could not help but sneer. This was obviously a secret room and he called it hell? Did he think she was an idiot and easy to fool? However, when she noticed Meng-san's corpse, her eyes suddenly trembled. She turned to look at Qin Feiyong and said sternly, "Who are you? Why are you pretending to be Meng-san?" Fatso shook his head and said, "You are really stupid. Isn't it obvious who he is?" Mengtong was surprised. Suddenly she seemed to have thought of something. She hurriedly took 2 steps back and said in shock and anger, "You are Qin Feiyong." Qin Feiyong said, "Yes, I am Qin Feiyong. Tell me, where is your grandfather in seclusion?" "What? You still want to kill my grandfather? What a joke. With your little strength, my grandfather can kill all of you together. Let me give you a piece of advice. You'd better let me go immediately, or you will all die without a complete corpse." Mengtong sneered. "You're already a prisoner, and you're still so arrogant?" Qin Feiyong and the others were stunned. "If you don't hit women, I will." Lu Hong got up and slapped her. But at this time, Qin Feiyong grabbed her wrist and shook his head. Don't waste time. Fatso said. Yes, as time goes by, it will arouse suspicion. At the same time, Fatso stretched out his hand like lightning and hit the back of Meng Tong's head with his palm like a blade. How dare you? Meng Tong shouted angrily and fought back. But she was only a one-star martial grandmaster. How could she be Fatso's opponent? She was directly beaten to the ground and fainted. Quickly change your clothes. Qin Feiyong urged Lu Hong and turned around. Fatso also turned around. But Wolf King and the pangolin stared straight at Lu Hong and Meng Tong. Qin Feiyong's face darkened and he said angrily, Be careful, I'll dig out your eyeballs. The two beasts smiled embarrassedly and hurriedly turned to look elsewhere. Rustle. Behind them there was the sound of clothes being taken off. Fatty stealthily turned his head and glanced over. But before he saw it, Qin Feiyong gave him a knock on the head. He glanced at the restless Wolf King and the pangolin and shouted, Behave yourself, otherwise don't blame me for being rude. TSK, I won't look. Isn't it just a woman? What's the big deal? The two of them muttered disdainfully. Damn, you don't want to look, but Fat Lord wants to see. I've lived for so long, but I've never seen a woman's white bones. Fatso pursed his lips and looked unhappy. This boss was really a hindrance. Enough. After a while, Lu Hong's voice sounded. Fatso turned around anxiously. He definitely couldn't see Lu Hong's body, but he could see Meng Tong's. However, when he looked at Meng Tong lying on the ground, his face suddenly fell. He saw that Meng Tong was wearing Lu Hong's clothes. The parts that should be covered were tightly covered. He looked up at Lu Hong, his eyes full of resentment. It seemed that he was blaming Lu Hong for putting clothes on Meng Tong. Seeing this, Lu Hong rolled her eyes and snorted. I didn't expect you to be so perverted. It seems that I have to be more careful in the future. Yes, he is a pervert. We must guard against him. You can't be too perverted. Fat brother, don't you agree? Wolf King and the pangolin also took advantage of the situation. Get lost. Fatso glared at them angrily. Funny. Qin Feiyong glanced at Fatso and the two beasts, turned to look at Lu Hong, looked up and down and nodded with satisfaction. At this moment, Lu Hong and Meng Tong were like a pair of twins. It was impossible to tell who was who. Qin Feiyong said, Be alert. Lu Hong nodded. Then Qin Feiyong took Lu Hong and left the castle. Then, Lu Hong walked in front, Qin Feiyong followed behind, and quickly walked out of the hall. Greetings, Mississippi. The guards at the door bowed to salute. Lu Hong nodded and walked to the council hall opposite. When they came to a place where there was no one, they turned around and walked toward the gate of the city lord's mansion. Along the way, the two of them encountered wave after wave of guards. But no one dared to block the way. They left the city lord's mansion unimpeded and entered the trading pavilion opposite. A woman came up to greet them. It was the young woman who had served Qin Feiyong before. Lu Hong said coldly and arrogantly, Take me to the warehouse. Warehouse? The young woman was stunned and didn't dare to ask more. She turned around and led the two of them upstairs. Without stopping, the three of them arrived at the 6th floor. Greetings, Mississippi. A square-faced middle-aged man came up and bowed to Lu Hong. Lu Hong said, Has anyone come to buy medicinal herbs recently? No. The middle-aged man shook his head and asked, Miss, are you here for something? The young woman said, Miss wants to go to the warehouse. The middle-aged man was stunned and asked doubtfully, I wonder why Miss is going to the warehouse? Lu Hong shouted, Do you need to ask what I want to do? I don't dare. The middle-aged man hurriedly shook his head and said to the young woman, You can go down and do your work. Yes. The young woman responded and went downstairs. Please follow me, Mississippi. The middle-aged man smiled and called out, then turned and walked down the corridor on the right. So the warehouse is on the 6th floor, together with the VIP lounge. Qin Feiyong muttered to himself, The warehouse of the trading pavilion should have battle arts. Chapter 368. Following behind the middle-aged man, they walked to the end of the corridor and turned to the right. That moment, Qin Feiyong saw an iron door in front of him. It was completely black and exuded a hard and heavy texture. In front of the iron door there were 4 guards guarding it. Their auras were very strong. They were 4 9-star battle monarchs. Qin Feiyong couldn't help but be secretly speechless. If he hadn't thought of this method, it would be harder than ascending to the sky to sneak into the warehouse. Greetings, Mississippi. When they saw Lu Hong, the 4 of them cupped their hands and bowed. The middle-aged man smiled and said, Miss wants to go to the warehouse. Please open the door. He was the manager of the transaction pavilion, but the warehouse was not under his control. The 4 of them were stunned. One of the guards waved to the middle-aged man and Qin Feiyong. You guys go down first. The middle-aged man nodded and didn't dare to stay any longer. He turned and strode away. But Qin Feiyong didn't move. He was worried about letting Lu Hong go in alone. Seeing that Qin Feiyong didn't move, the guard frowned and said, Didn't you hear me tell you to go down? Lu Hong frowned and scolded. He's my personal guard. I didn't even say anything. What right do you have to order him? Personal guard? The 4 of them looked at each other and couldn't help but have a trace of jealousy in their eyes. Being the personal guard of the young miss, they could usually get a lot of benefits. This person didn't look good and wasn't strong. How could he be so lucky to be chosen by the young miss? Lu Hong shouted, Why aren't you opening the door? Do you want me to do it myself? The guard hurriedly said, I don't dare. But miss, you have to be gentle. Don't disturb the old master. What? Qin Feiyong's pupils constricted. Could it be that the old master was in seclusion in the warehouse? In that case, wasn't it equivalent to a sheep entering the tiger's den? Lu Hong was also shocked in her heart. If it was in the past, she would definitely be flustered when such a sudden change happened. But ever since she followed Qin Feiyong, she had experienced too many things. Her temperament had also unknowingly transformed. Not to mention strategizing, he was still able to remain calm in the face of danger. He panicked slightly, but he quickly calmed himself down. He said impatiently, I know. I don't need you to remind me. This little master is really hard to serve. The 4 guards were filled with helplessness. One of them turned around, took out a token, and inserted it into the groove on the door. Immediately, the iron door opened silently. Miss, please come in. Next, the 4 of them retreated to the side. Once an arrow is shot, it's hard to turn back. Even though they knew that the old master was in seclusion, the 2 of them could only brace themselves and walk in. Because if he didn't go in now, those 4 people would definitely be suspicious. After entering the warehouse, the guard closed the iron door. In the meantime, Qin Feiyong and Wang Chong also secretly became vigilant and scanned the storeroom. The warehouse was about 100 meters long. On the ground, pitch-black metal frames were neatly arranged. On the iron rack were all chinkuan bags, and they were all categorized. The medicinal pills were all placed on a metal rack. The medicinal ingredients were also uniformly placed on the other 3 iron racks. Moreover, on each chinkuan bag there was a note. It was clearly written what was inside the chinkuan bag. Qin Feiyong and Wang Chong were stunned. The wealth here was simply beyond imagination. According to their preliminary estimate, there were at least hundreds of chinkuan bags. This was a huge treasure trove. After Lu Hong came back to her senses, she whispered, Do we do it now? That weak voice could only be heard by the 2 of them. No, the old master is here. If we do it, we'll be finished. We have to think of a way to lure him out first. Qin Feiyong whispered. Lu Hong frowned. I don't see him. In 100 meters, the 2 of them could see everything clearly. Indeed, they didn't see any trace of other people. But those 4 guards definitely wouldn't lie. Qin Feiyong carefully scanned the 4 walls again. Suddenly, his eyes locked on the wall on the right. There was a trace of a door there. It might be a secret door. The 2 of them walked in and took a look. It was really a secret door. The 2 of them whispered to each other for a while. Lu Hong reached out and knocked on the door. Who is it? An old voice came from inside, slightly hoarse. Lu Hong replied obediently, Grandpa, it's me. So it's this old man's little granddaughter. Hoarse laughter sounded. Soon, the secret door opened and a white-haired old man walked out. He glanced at Qin Feiyong, then looked at Lu Hong and said with a smile, What's the matter, Grandpa? Lu Hong said, Grandpa, Father asks you to go to the Great Council Hall. The old man frowned and asked doubtfully, Did something happen? Yes. Lu Hong nodded. Qin Feiyang cupped his hands and said, Old Patriarch, 2 months ago, a person called Qin Feiyang came to our White Fox City. He repeatedly went against our Meng family, and even killed many of our Meng family's people. Qin Feiyang? The old man lowered his head and pondered for a moment. He frowned and said, I've never heard of this person. We've never heard of him either. Originally, the Patriarch didn't want to disturb your seclusion, but that Qin Feiyang has the ability to come and go without a trace. For 2 whole months, he has been in the city lord's mansion, but no one can find him, not even the Patriarch. So, we can only ask the old master to come out of seclusion. Qin Feiyang said indignantly. How preposterous! How dare you cause trouble in my Meng family's territory? The white-haired old man flew into a rage and said, Let's go, follow this old man to meet him. Lu Hong said, Grandpa, I want to stay here and pick a few weapons for self-defense. It's good to stay here so that when we fight we won't accidentally hurt you. The white-haired old man smiled and looked at Qin Feiyang. He shouted, Protect my good granddaughter well. If she loses a single strand of hair, this old man won't let you off easily. Qin Feiyang bowed and said, I swear to protect Miss to the death. Okay. The white-haired old man nodded and was about to leave, but he suddenly looked at Lu Hong. Qin Feiyang's eyelids twitched. Did he see through the clues? Lu Hong was also a little flustered, but she forced herself to be calm and asked in confusion, What's wrong, Grandpa? Good granddaughter, when you came last time, weren't you only a 1-star martial arts grandmaster? How did you break through so quickly? The white-haired old man said in surprise, That's because your granddaughter is talented. Why? Are you jealous? Lu Hong smiled mischievously. This old man is jealous of you? Little girl, you really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Do you know how powerful Grandpa is? But I can see that you're working hard to cultivate now. Continue to work hard, don't let Grandpa down. The white-haired old man smiled. Yes. Lu Hong nodded heavily. So obedient? The white-haired old man was stunned and said with a smile, My good granddaughter has finally grown up and become sensible. After that, with a gratified smile, he turned around and landed in front of the iron door, pressing a black button beside it. The iron door suddenly opened. Then the white-haired old man strode out. After the iron door closed, Qin Feiyang immediately gave Lu Hong a thumbs up and said with a smile, With your current temperament, you're already able to take charge alone. Lu Hong blushed and said, If you weren't by my side, I would have been exposed. She was not flattering him. With her current relationship with Qin Feiyang, there was no need to flatter him. This was the truth. With Qin Feiyang by her side, she felt particularly safe. Qin Feiyang smiled, glanced at the Qingquan bag on the iron shelf and said, Hurry up and do it. At the same time, with a wave of his hand, he pulled Fatso and Wolf King out. As for the pangolin, he didn't trust it that much. If he took 1 or 2 Qingquan bag for himself, wouldn't he lose a lot of money? Damn, so many. We're rich, we're rich. Looking at the Qingquan bag one after another, Wolf King and Fatso seemed to have eaten stimulants, jumping up and down, crazily plundering. Qin Feiyang turned around and walked into the secret door. Inside was a cultivation room that was about 20 to 30 meters wide. On the left there was another door. He walked in and saw that it was an alchemy room. Alchemy and cultivation were both here. This was simply the old man's personal treasury. Pill furnace. Suddenly, his eyes lit up as he walked to the pill furnace on the stone platform. However, upon closer inspection, a trace of disappointment crept onto his face. The pill furnace was completely black, without any treasure light. This meant that this was only a second-grade pill furnace. He then noticed that there was an iron box the size of an adult's palm next to the pill furnace. He opened the iron box and a fist-sized flame immediately entered his line of sight. It was alchemy fire. This alchemy fire was no different from ordinary flames. It didn't seem to be of a high grade. However, every kind of alchemy fire was extremely rare. Therefore, he did not hesitate to take it into the castle. He also took away the pill furnace. Although the grade was the same as the bronze pill furnace, he could still keep it as a backup. Last time in the Sea of Despair, it was because he did not have a backup pill furnace that he wasted a few months of time. Otherwise, he would probably be a 7-star battle king by now, or even an 8-star battle king. Boss, we've looted everything. At this time, Fatso, Wolf King, and Lu Hong happily walked into the alchemy room. Qin Feiyong asked, "Are there any battle arts?" Lu Hong said, "I haven't had the time to check yet." Qin Feiyong pondered for a moment and said, "Lu Hong, take all the Chengkuan bag to the castle first." Lu Hong was slightly stunned and asked, "Don't we need to hide our identities?" Wolf King waved his claws and said indifferently, "All the treasures are in our hands. What's the point of hiding our identities?" "Yes, there's no need to hide anymore." Qin Feiyong's eyes flashed with a cold light, and he sent Lu Hong to the castle. Next, he took out a facial restoration pill, restored his original appearance, and threw away the beast's skin coat on his body. "Let's go and loot the medicinal herbs on the second floor." Qin Feiyong waved his hand and strode out of the alchemy room. One had to know that there were many precious medicinal herbs on the second floor. For example, 9 Suns flower, fire ginseng, scarlet fire-colored glass pill. These were all wealth. Heh. When Wolf King and Fatso heard this, they immediately chased after Qin Feiyong with a sinister smile. Walking to the iron door, Qin Feiyong pressed the button, and the iron door quickly opened. "Miss, you're out." The 4 guards turned to look. However, when they saw Qin Feiyong and Wolf King, their expressions changed drastically. "Why are you in the warehouse?" The 4 of them shouted, their auras exploding. "Are you pigs? Is there a need to ask? Of course we're here to rob." Chapter 369. Robbery. The 4 guards were shocked. Their gazes swept past the 2 men and the wolf and looked into the storeroom. When they saw the empty iron frame, the 4 of them felt as if they had been struck by lightning. Their bodies and minds trembled. "Attack!" Qin Feiyong shouted. Boom! Wolf King stood up and instantly turned into a muscular wolf. His 2 thick claws fiercely struck out. 2 guards were sent flying. Blood spurted from their mouths and they fainted on the spot. "You deserve to die." The other 2 guards were furious. Battle chi surged out like a torrent. Carrying an astonishing momentum, they rushed towards Wolf King. "Humph!" Qin Feiyong coldly snorted. He took a step forward and clapped his hands in the air. The 2 battle chi changed sides and submerged the 2 guards. Cries of agony could be heard. What happened? Could it be that someone is causing trouble in the exchange pavilion? The commotion came from the storeroom. Everyone in the exchange pavilion was alarmed. Da-da-da. Accompanied by a burst of hurried footsteps, one by one, the guards frantically ran towards the 6th floor. At the same time, the middle-aged man with a square face also rushed out of the VIP lounge with a bewildered look on his face and ran towards the warehouse. Suddenly, at the corner, 2 men and a wolf appeared in his line of sight. Qin Feiyong. The middle-aged man's gaze suddenly trembled. Why was he here? Could it be? He could not help but have a terrifying thought in his mind. "You're courting death," the middle-aged man roared. A pitch-black battle sword appeared behind his back. This was his battle soul. The battle sword pierced through the air. With an astonishing sharpness, it slashed towards the 2 men and the wolf. Scram! Qin Feiyong roared. Golden light burst out from his palm as he slapped towards the battle soul. Clang! The battle sword turned in the air. Like a graceful swan, it actually cut the middle-aged man's body into 2 halves. Blood splattered on the spot. What? The guards who rushed up first were all dumbfounded when they saw this scene. He was actually killed by his own battle soul? Was this a dream? "Scram if you don't want to die," Wolf King shouted, his ferocious aura surging. The guards panicked. None of them dared to step forward. They kept retreating. 2 people and 1 wolf quickly rushed up to the 2nd floor. City Lord's mansion. Inside the conference hall, the Meng family lord and the 3 leaders chatted happily. Whoosh! The white-haired old man suddenly appeared outside the gate. "Father." The Meng family lord was stunned. He hurriedly stood up and asked, "Father, have you made a breakthrough?" The white-haired old man didn't answer. He looked at the 3 leaders and said with a faint smile, "So you guys are here too. It's been many years since we last met. How have you been, old master?" The three leaders also cupped their hands and smiled. At the same time, he was observing the white-haired old man's cultivation. If this person really broke through to the 4-star combat emperor, then the situation of the three major tribes would be even worse. He observed for a while. They all heaved a sigh of relief. The old master's cultivation was still at the 3-star combat emperor realm. He exchanged some pleasantries with the three leaders. The white-haired old man then turned to the Meng family lord and asked with a frown, "What's the matter with Qin Feiyang?" The Meng family lord was stunned and asked with a puzzled expression, "Father, how did you know?" The white-haired old man said, "Tong told me." "What's the matter with this girl? Didn't I tell you not to disturb the old master?" The Meng family lord frowned. "Why didn't you inform me when such a big thing happened? Now you're blaming Tong. Is this how you act as a family lord, a father and a son?" The white-haired old man shouted. The Meng family lord felt wronged and said, "Father, I didn't want to disturb you because you were in seclusion. Seclusion is important, but the reputation of the Meng family is more important. Tell me, where is Qin Feiyang? As long as I come out of seclusion, his death will come." The white-haired old man's voice was stern, and his old face was full of contempt. "During this period he has been trapped outside, but I accidentally let him slip away. Now I don't know where he is hiding, but I can guarantee with my head that he is definitely still in the city lord's mansion." The Meng family lord said solemnly, "Family lord, bad news." But at this moment, a guard ran into the meeting hall in a hurry. The Meng family lord shouted, "What are you panicking for?" Qin Feiyang and the others ransacked the warehouse of the trading pavilion, and are now ransacking the medicinal herbs on the 2nd floor. And many guards were killed by them. The guard shouted, "What?" The Meng family lord and the old master's expressions changed suddenly. The three chiefs looked at each other in disbelief. One had to know. The Meng family was the local tyrant of this area. Even the three tribes did not dare to go against the Meng family. But this Qin Feiyang actually ransacked the warehouse of the trading pavilion? Just who was this kid? How could he be so audacious? Most importantly, the warehouse of the trading pavilion was heavily guarded. They did not have the confidence to sneak in, so how did this person do it? "I fell into a trap, damn it." The old master suddenly understood. The Meng Tong he saw before was not his biological granddaughter at all. "Quickly go and see if Tong is in the boudoir." The old master hurriedly left a sentence, then rushed out of the hall and flew towards the trading pavilion. "The three of you please go ahead." The Meng family's patriarch cupped his hands and said to the three leaders. Then, he immediately rushed to the back garden. His heart was full of worry. "We underestimated that kid. Yes, at first I thought he was just a grasshopper who could not jump for long. But I did not expect him to do such an earth-shattering thing. Let's go to the trading pavilion and see if he has 3 heads and 6 arms." The three chiefs' battle chi surged, turned into a stream of light, and quickly rushed out of the hall. At the same time, on the 2nd floor of the trading pavilion. "This is a robbery, don't move. Otherwise you will end up like them." Wolf King stood in front of a few corpses, with his head held high and his chest out, looking majestically at the scene. The guards, staff and guests were all gathered together, looking at him in horror. As for Qin Feiyang and Fatso, they were sweeping the medicinal herbs as if there was no one else around. "Qin Feiyang, you will not have a good ending for doing this. It's not too late to turn back now." The young woman also stood in the crowd, looking at the medicinal herbs being taken by the two into their qiankuan bags. She was extremely anxious. "Shut up. Don't think that I won't kill you just because you are a woman. If you piss me off, I will still cut you into pieces." Wolf King shouted. The young woman's pupils constricted, and she no longer dared to speak. After a few breaths of time, Fatso happily held a qiankuan bag and ran in front of Qin Feiyang, smiling. "Boss, we can leave now?" Qin Feiyang also held a qiankuan bag in his hand, and glanced at the counter where the medicinal herbs were placed. After confirming that not a single one was left out, he threw the qiankuan bag to Fatso, and then sent Fatso to the castle. Next, he walked to Wolf King's side, glanced at those people and said, "They are not from the Meng family, hurry up and leave." All the guests and staff immediately ran downstairs in a panic. In the end, only the group of guards and the young woman were left. Qin Feiyong looked at the woman in surprise and said, "So you are also from the Meng family?" The young woman said coldly, "You won't be able to surrender." "I really didn't think of escaping." Qin Feiyong smiled faintly. "Why are you spouting so much nonsense? Kill them all." Wolf King's ferocious nature erupted like a violent beast. He rushed towards the group of guards. That moment, screams rang out one after another. The young woman was also so scared that she kept retreating, her face filled with fear. Soon, the guards all fell to the ground. Wolf King's eyes revealed a fierce light, and was about to kill the young woman. "You deserve to die." But at this moment, a hoarse growl sounded out. Qin Feiyong and Wolf King turned around and saw a white-haired old man standing at the staircase on the second floor. Who else could he be but the old master? Wolf King hurriedly ran to Qin Feiyong's side. This old fellow was a 3-star war emperor. If he was too far away from Qin Feiyong, he would lose his life. Da-da! The old master walked into the hall step by step, glancing at the corpses all over the floor and the counter that had been looted. The killing intent in his eyes became even stronger. Whoosh! The 3 leaders also rushed up from the corridor. When they saw this scene, their hearts were set off by stormy waves. Entering the hall, the 3 of them looked at Qin Feiyong and Wolf King. 5-star war emperor? They were stunned. With such little strength, they dared to go against the Meng family? Seeing the 3 leaders, Qin Feiyong was not surprised at all and said indifferently, "Are you here to help the Meng family?" "Help?" The 3 of them were stunned. The burly man shook his head and said, "We're just here to join in the fun." Then the 3 of them retreated to a corner and watched coldly. "How do you want to die?" At this moment, the old master suddenly raised his head, staring at the man and wolf, and said coldly. Qin Feiyong smiled faintly and said, "I'm afraid we won't die today. As long as this old man comes out of seclusion, you won't have a chance to live. If you know what's good for you, immediately hand over the treasures in the warehouse. I can still consider leaving your corpses intact." The old master said. Wolf King sneered and said, "You want us to spit out the things in our pockets? Do you think it's possible?" "Well, you asked for it." The old master's eyes were filled with murderous intent, and a terrifying aura suddenly erupted. Thump! At this moment, the Meng family lord ran up anxiously and said in shock and anger, "Father Tonger is missing." "What?" The old master's body trembled, and he immediately shouted at Qin Feiyong, "Did you kill her?" Qin Feiyong said, "No, she's fine now, but if you dare to do it, it's hard to say." The old master said in a deep voice, "Let her go, leave the treasures, and this old man will let you leave White Fox City." Qin Feiyong was surprised. He didn't expect this old man to care so much about Meng Tong. "Let her go, there's no problem. Anyway, she's just a small character. But you have to give me the coordinates of Sky Thunder City or Purple Sun Tribe. As for the treasures, don't even think about it," Qin Feiyong said. Stubborn. The old master was furious. He actually dared to threaten him? Boom! The pressure of a 3-star combat emperor erupted in an instant. Immediately, a man and a wolf were imprisoned. At the same time, Chapter 370. Although she was a woman, she was very ambitious. As long as she killed Qin Feiyong, it would be a great merit. When the time came, she would be the manager of the trading pavilion. There was even a possibility that she would be favored by the old family head, and would have a meteoric rise in the future. Normally, she would not dare to make a move, because her strength was not as strong as Qin Feiyong. But now, Qin Feiyong was imprisoned by the pressure, which was equivalent to a fish on the chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered. How could she let go of such a good opportunity? However, dreams were beautiful, but reality was cruel. Just as she approached, Qin Feiyong suddenly turned his head and grinned at her. "You can still move?" The young woman was shocked. The old family head, the Meng family lord, and the 3 leaders were all in disbelief. "It's normal for women to be ambitious. But your mistake is that you shouldn't have used me to get to the top." Qin Feiyong pointed his finger, and the battle aura was like a rainbow, directly entering the young woman's forehead. Accompanied by a shrill scream, the young woman fell to the ground and died. "How dare you kill my Meng family?" The old family head was burning with anger. He stepped in front of Qin Feiyong, and the battle aura in his old hand surged as he slapped Qin Feiyong's head. People of the Meng family, just wait to wail. Qin Feiyong roared and instantly disappeared without a trace. The roar spread in all directions, echoing in the sky above White Fox City for a long time. At this moment, as long as it was a member of the Meng family, they could not help but panic. He can really disappear into thin air. In the hall on the second floor, the three leaders looked at the place where Qin Feiyong disappeared, and their eyes almost popped out. The old family head's expression was the most interesting. On the one hand, he was shocked. On the other hand, Qin Feiyong slipped away under his nose, which was tantamount to slapping him hard in the face. Father, don't worry. He can't move. As long as we stay here, he'll come out sooner or later. Seeing that the old family head was on the verge of exploding in anger, the Meng family lord hurriedly comforted him. Unable to move? Good, very good. You go and pacify the people. This old man will wait here personally. The elderly head stared blankly for a moment before bursting into laughter. Naive. At this moment, a cold laugh rang out. Qin Feiyong appeared in front of the old patriarch out of thin air. He was holding a person in his hand. It was Meng Tong. Whoosh! Qin Feiyong grabbed Meng Tong's neck and hurriedly took a few steps back before the elderly master and Meng Tong could react. Tong, let her go. When they came to their senses, their expressions changed and they shouted at the same time. My patience is limited. Give me the coordinates immediately, or I'll kill her. Qin Feiyong's eyes flashed with killing intent. How dare you? The old family head roared. I even dared to rob the storehouse, not to mention killing someone. Qin Feiyong sneered. The elderly master and Meng Tong were speechless. That's right. Not only did he rob the storehouse, but he also wreaked havoc in the city lord's mansion. Why would he care about a life? This person was simply a lawless master. Meng family lord said angrily. Using a woman as a shield, are you still a man? Don't make it sound so dignified. One of you is a 3-star combat emperor, while the other is a 1-star combat emperor. How dare you shamelessly attack me, a 5-star combat king? In terms of shamelessness, I'm no match for you. I'm just giving you a taste of your own medicine. Qin Feiyong's eyes were filled with mockery. The three leaders looked at each other with a hint of mockery in their eyes. The Meng family used their power to bully others. This was nothing new. Seeing the Meng family being humiliated, they felt quite satisfied. The elderly master and Meng Tong were silent. Qin Feiyong sneered. Nothing to say? How about this? Send a few 5-star combat kings to have a fair fight with me. If I lose, you can do whatever you want with me. But if I win, you have to tell me the coordinates. What do you think? Qin Feiyong asked. The elderly master and Meng Tong were so angry that smoke was coming out of their heads. Even a 9-star combat king was no match for this man. Now, he wanted them to send a 5-star combat king to have a fair fight? Wasn't he trying to embarrass the Meng family? Can't I? Then just send a 9-star combat king. Well, I'm a reasonable person. I'm easy to talk to, Qin Feiyong said with a smile. The three leaders' faces twitched. Is this what you call being reasonable? This is easy to talk to? To hell with it. You want a fair fight, right? Fine, I'll fulfill your wish. I'll suppress my cultivation to 9-star combat king and fight with you. Meng family lord took a step forward and looked at Qin Feiyong provocatively. Seeing this, the three leaders couldn't help but shake their heads. As a 1-star combat emperor, challenging a junior who was only a 5-star combat king was already embarrassing enough. However, Meng family lord actually said that he would suppress his cultivation to 9-star combat king. Didn't he find it embarrassing? Even if he wanted to suppress his cultivation, he should have suppressed it to 5-star combat king, the same cultivation level as Qin Feiyong. Only then would it be fair. The elderly master also frowned. Obviously, he was very dissatisfied with Meng family lord's reckless behavior. However, he had no other choice now. This was because the other 9-star battle monarchs were simply no match for Qin Feiyong. However, Qin Feiyong was not stupid. If the Meng family lord suddenly regained his peak strength during the fight, wouldn't he die? Anyway, he couldn't accept such a ridiculous challenge. It seems that we can't reach an agreement. Then we'll follow the original plan and use the coordinates to exchange for Mengtong's life," Qin Feiyang said. The Meng family lord looked at the unconscious Mengtong, his eyes full of struggle. A moment later, he looked at the white-haired old man and growled, "Father, give him the coordinates." The elderly master said, "We can't give it to him unless he returns all the treasures to us." "But what about Tong? She's your granddaughter. You can't leave her in the lurch," the Meng family lord said anxiously. "I know. I don't need you to remind me," the elderly master said angrily. He was already very annoyed. The Meng family lord's words were undoubtedly adding fuel to the fire. Qin Feiyang glanced at the father and son and said with a faint smile, "I'll give you 3 breaths. 3 breaths." The Meng family lord's body trembled. He turned his head and looked at the elderly master pleadingly. However, the elderly master ignored him and even closed his eyes. 3 breaths passed quickly. Suddenly, the elderly master opened his eyes. 2 cold lights burst out from his eyes. He pointed his finger without hesitation. Whoosh! 6 murderous battle chis shot toward Qin Feiyang and Mengtong like lightning. What? The 3 leaders' eyes widened in anger. The elderly master was going to sacrifice his granddaughter. "Father, no." The Meng family lord's expression changed abruptly. He hurriedly cried out, but it was too late. Puff! The 6 battle chis were like sharp arrows. They sank into Mengtong's body. Instantly, blood splattered across the sky. The heart-wrenching pain woke her up. She immediately let out a shrill scream. At the same time, Qin Feiyang also felt a strong sense of danger. All the hair on his body stood on end. Driven by instinct, he quickly abandoned Mengtong and entered the ancient castle. In the blink of an eye, the moment he entered the ancient castle, the 6 battle chis swept out from Mengtong's back and blasted forward. If it had been a little later, he would have definitely died on the spot. Boom! Accompanied by a loud bang, the trading pavilion collapsed. The trading pavilion has also collapsed. The people on the streets were all in a daze. Could it be that even the elderly master could not do anything to Qin Feiyang? Boom! Soon after, 5 figures rushed out from the ruins. They were the 3 leaders, the elderly master, and the Meng family lord. The Meng family lord was still holding Mengtong. However, at this moment, they were all covered in dust and looked extremely miserable. As soon as they came out, the Meng family lord roared, "Father, you're too cruel to even kill your own granddaughter. Shut up. Look at Tong Er's condition first before you blame me." The elderly master shouted coldly and scanned his surroundings, looking for Qin Feiyang. The Meng family lord was stunned. He lowered his head and looked at Mengtong. His eyes immediately lit up. Although the 6 battle chis had pierced through Mengtong's body, none of them were fatal. Moreover, his breathing and heartbeat were still there. As long as he took a healing pill in time and recuperated for a few months, he would be as good as new. It was only now that the 3 leaders realized what was going on. It turned out that the elderly master did not really want to kill his granddaughter. He just wanted to save her. However, this method was a little extreme. If he was not careful and injured his heart and sea of qi, Mengtong's life would be over. The Meng family lord took out a healing pill and put it in Mengtong's mouth. He asked, "Father, have you found them?" The elderly master shook his head. The Meng family lord said in a low voice, "They must be hiding." The elderly master said, "Don't worry about this. Take Tong back to recuperate first." Okay. The Meng family lord nodded. He turned around and flew into the city lord's mansion, disappearing from the main hall. The elderly master looked at the 3 leaders and asked, "Can the 3 of you do this old man a favor?" Old man Snakeskin smiled sinisterly. "Tell us first." The elderly master said, "Use your battle chis to seal off White Fox City. Don't let Qin Feiyang escape." The burly man frowned and said, "Doing this will consume a lot of battle chis. What benefits will we get?" The elderly master said, "After this matter is done, I will give each of you 100,000 battle chi pills. Deal." The 3 leaders' eyes lit up. They did not even hesitate and nodded in agreement. The elderly master said, "Then let's begin." The 3 leaders rose into the air and stood in a tripartite formation high in the sky. Boom! The next moment, Their bodies shook, and their battle chi gushed out in all directions like tidewater. In less than 10 breaths, a huge barrier formed and fell with a loud bang, enveloping the entire White Fox City. The elderly master glanced at the barrier and rushed into the sky, looking down at the huge city. From now on, no one is allowed to leave White Fox City. Once found, kill without mercy. His voice was like a bell, and everyone could hear it clearly, including Qin Feiyong in the castle. It seems that the Meng family is prepared to fight to the death with us. The pangolin was a little worried. What are you afraid of? Since they want to play, then we'll play with them. I'd like to see who will regret it in the end. Wolf King's eyes were full of disdain. Qin Feiyong glanced at Wolf King, and his eyes flashed. Swish! With a thought, he appeared in the ruins and looked up at the 3 leaders. 3 leaders, have you never thought about why the elderly master is the only alchemist in this area? Chapter 371. Hearing this, the 3 leaders couldn't help but be stunned. At the same time, the elderly patriarch also heard it. Damn it! He cursed in his heart. With a wave of his big hand, his battle chi condensed into a giant hand that covered the sky and slammed down on the ruins below. Boom! With a loud bang, the ruins were reduced to ashes, and a huge deep pit appeared. The aura spread in all directions. The crowd on the streets on all sides were sent flying, and screams were endless. Some people even died on the spot. Is he dead? The elderly patriarch waved his hand, and a strong wind whistled, blowing away the dust and smoke. Then he glanced at the deep pit, his expression uncertain. Whoosh! Suddenly, a white figure appeared out of thin air in the deep pit. Who else could it be but Qin Feiyong? Why is he still alive? The elderly patriarch's eyes widened in anger. Qin Feiyong glanced at him, then looked at the 3 leaders and said, "Do you want to know the truth?" "What truth?" the burly man asked. "Don't listen to his nonsense. He's trying to sow discord between us," the elderly patriarch shouted, and then swooped down toward the deep pit, his eyes filled with murderous intent. He couldn't care less about the treasures now. He just wanted to kill Qin Feiyong to silence him. There are no alchemists in this area, and it has a lot to do with the Meng family. After Qin Feiyong finished speaking, he disappeared again. "Bastard, get out here!" The elderly patriarch flew into a rage and crazily bombarded the deep pit. Inside the ancient castle. "Little Qin Zi, didn't you say that it's useless to tell them? Why are you telling them now?" Wolf King was puzzled. The past is the past and the present is the present. Before this, I never thought of wiping them out. But now I want the Meng family to disappear completely. Qin Feiyong's eyes flashed with a cold light. The pangolin's eyes trembled. This fierce man really couldn't be provoked. Outside, the 3 leaders stood in the air, all looking surprised. How could it be related to the Meng family? Could it be that there was some unspeakable secret hidden within? Old clan master sensed their expressions and hurriedly flew up into the sky. He said angrily, "This person has sinister intentions. The 3 of you must not listen to his nonsense." But before he could finish, Qin Feiyong's voice sounded again. In order to stabilize the Meng family's position in this area, they despicably assassinated other alchemists. Old man, in terms of viciousness, I can't even compare to 1/10 of you. He saw Qin Feiyong standing in the deep pit with a mocking smile on his face. What? The 3 leaders were startled, and their eyes flickered. "Little bastard, don't talk nonsense." The old family head roared. "You know very well whether or not I'm spouting nonsense. Leaders, if you don't believe me, you can capture someone from the Meng clan and interrogate them." Qin Feiyong said with a smile. "You little brat who spouts nonsense, this old man will tear you to pieces." The old family head's killing intent soared to the heavens. "Wait." But at this moment, the snakeskin old man spoke in a hoarse voice. The old family head was slightly stunned. He looked at the 3 of them and said in a deep voice, "Do you really believe him? This matter is of great importance. We have to interrogate him first." The old woman with a walking stick said, "If we confirm that he is lying, we will kill him ourselves." The burly man followed. Whoosh! The three leaders swooped down and landed in front of Qin Feiyang. The battle chi barrier that sealed off White Fox City also collapsed on its own. What should we do? The old family head was anxious. Suddenly, his old eyes flashed and he said, "This old man will also listen to how you make up nonsense." Actually, he wanted to take this opportunity to get close to Qin Feiyang and kill him. However, he had obviously underestimated Qin Feiyang's intelligence. Qin Feiyang looked up and said with a smile, "Old clanmaster, don't come down. I will be scared away by you." These words were actually meant for the ears of the three leaders. He was telling the three of them that he was afraid that the old family head would kill him. If the old family head came down, he could only hide. "Old clanmaster, you haven't done anything wrong. You're not afraid of ghosts knocking on the door. Don't come down for the time being. Don't worry, we will never wrong a good person, and we will never let a bad person go." When the three leaders said this, the old family head really couldn't go down, because if he still went down now, it would prove that he had a guilty conscience. The burly man looked at Qin Feiyang and whispered, "Young man, do you know the consequences of lying to us?" "Of course I know. After offending the Meng family, I can't offend your three tribes." Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. The burly man said, "Well then tell us now what exactly is going on. I wonder if the three leaders have seen the trading pavilion selling medicinal herbs?" Qin Feiyang did not answer but asked. Only the four of them could hear his voice. "I saw it. Is there a problem?" The three of them were puzzled. Of course there is a problem. Think about it, the old family head is the only alchemist in this area. Why would the trading pavilion sell medicinal herbs? Doesn't he know that the price of a finished grade pill is several times that of medicinal herbs? Qin Feiyang said. The three of them frowned. Qin Feiyang continued, "These medicinal herbs on the surface are for sale in the trading pavilion. But in fact," the old woman urged, "tell us in fact what?" After hearing it, don't overreact. In fact, the trading pavilion is used to lure alchemists to buy. Once someone buys medicinal herbs, the Meng family will immediately find an opportunity to assassinate them. Qin Feiyang said. What? The three of them were shocked. If Qin Feiyang had not told them in advance not to overreact, they would have jumped up on the spot. The burly man asked, "Little brother, are you sure this is true?" Before, he called Qin Feiyang young man, but now he called him little brother. From this subtle change, it could be seen that he already believed Qin Feiyang's words. It's absolutely true. Qin Feiyang nodded. The three leaders' eyes darkened. When the Meng family first came to this area, their three tribes actually had alchemists. But soon after, they died one after another. Some died in battle while others died in accidents. And later, many alchemists were born. The result was without exception, all of them died young. But because the Meng family did it too perfectly, leaving no trace, the people of the three tribes had never suspected the Meng family. If it weren't for Qin Feiyang telling the truth today, they would have been kept in the dark. However, although they knew the truth, they couldn't help but hesitate at this moment. Qin Feiyang glanced at the three and said, "I know what you are hesitating about." The three frowned. "You are just worried that after the Meng family is eliminated, there will be no one in this area to refine pills. But I can tell you that you don't have to worry at all because I am an alchemist," Qin Feiyang said. "You?" The three looked at him suspiciously. "If I'm not an alchemist, why would I rob those herbs?" Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. The burly man asked, "You mean after the Meng family is eliminated, you will help us refine pills?" "I don't have that much time. But I can help you train an alchemist. But you need to find a way to refine the alchemy fire yourself. And as a condition, destroy the Meng family immediately," Qin Feiyang said. Old Man Snakeskin said, "Don't worry about the alchemy fire, our three tribes have it, but we don't have the pill formulas and herbs. They all have alchemy fire?" Qin Feiyang was stunned, and his heart was in disbelief. One had to know. In the spiritual state, except for the Holy Palace, it was difficult to find alchemy fire. But in the Forgotten Land, not only the old master had alchemy fire, but also the three tribes. Could it be that alchemy fire had spread all over the streets here? No, it made sense that they didn't have the pill formulas. After all, every alchemist would carry the pill formulas with them. When a person was about to die, the pill formulas would naturally fall into the hands of others, or shatter and disappear along with the Qiankuan bag. But without herbs it didn't make sense. Qin Feiyong asked, "Your 3 tribes should be big tribes. How can you not have herbs?" "We originally accumulated a lot of herbs. But every time we buy pills from the Meng family, we give priority to using herbs. The value of the herbs is not enough, so we use gold coins to make up for it," the old woman said. Qin Feiyong asked, "Then you don't find it strange why did the Meng family do this?" "Generally speaking, they directly use gold coins to buy pills. Who would use herbs to trade? The old master is an alchemist, so it's normal for him to want herbs. And our 3 tribes don't have alchemists, so there's no use in keeping the herbs. So, every time the Meng family asked us to use herbs to trade, we didn't refuse. Even in the past we have always been grateful to him." The burly old man sighed. Only at this moment did they understand that the Meng family's actions were actually to cut off the retreat of their 3 tribes. The Meng clan was truly despicable. "Little brother, how about this? Give us the pill formulas, and we will immediately join forces to eradicate the Meng family. As for the herbs, there's no need to trouble you. We'll slowly buy them ourselves," the 3 leaders suggested. Qin Feiyong hesitated for a moment and said, "I don't know many pill formulas." The burly man said, "It's fine as long as there are healing pill, body tempering pill, chi gathering pill and battle chi pill. These medicinal pills were often used." Qin Feiyong said, "I do have these pill formulas." The burly man said, "All right, then it's decided. Now we'll have to trouble little brother to act out a play with us." "I'm the best at acting, but are you guys confident?" Qin Feiyong said in a low voice, his eyes flashing. "Of course we are confident. We are all 3-star war emperor. If we launch a sneak attack we can guarantee that we can kill them in 1 strike," the burly man said confidently. Next, the 4 of them slowly darkened their faces and began to argue. And the more they argued, the fiercer they became. "Little bastard, you don't have any evidence, what are you talking about?" Suddenly, the burly man shouted. His palm struck Qin Feiyong's chest like lightning. "Ah!" Qin Feiyong screamed and smashed into the ground behind him, spitting out blood. In fact, the burly man's strength was not great, at most 1/10 of it. But even if it was only 1/10, it wasn't something that Qin Feiyong could bear. He climbed up in a sorry state, the blood and qi in his body surging. He glared at the 3 of them and said angrily, "I'm telling the truth, why don't you believe me? You're still spouting nonsense, you're really courting death." The burly man's eyes were filled with killing intent, and he threw another punch at Qin Feiyong. "Young man, don't waste your time. You're just trying to sow discord between us and the Meng family. Unfortunately, your trick has been seen through by us." At the same time, the old woman and old man Snakeskin had a mocking look in their eyes. "Trick? I promise you'll regret it." Qin Feiyong was so angry that he laughed and disappeared without a trace. "Little bastard, don't hide if you have the guts." The burly man's punch missed and he couldn't help but roar. Seeing this, Chapter 372. Inside the castle. Fatso said, "Boss, you better be careful. Those 3 old things shouldn't be good people either." Qin Feiyong nodded and threw down a top-grade healing pill. From the previous conversation, he could already tell that the 3 of them were all old foxes. Indeed, he had to be careful. Outside, the old patriarch landed in the deep pit and said with a smile, "The 3 of you, please calm down. As long as we work together, it won't be difficult to get rid of this kid." The burly man turned to look at him and said, "He's always hiding like this. How can we get rid of him? Keep wasting time like this? He can hide for a while, but he can't hide forever. Sooner or later he will come out. How about this, after this matter is done, this old man will give each of you 200,000 battle chi pills." The old patriarch laughed. The 3 leaders looked at each other, and their faces were full of smiles. They cupped their hands and said, "Thank you, old patriarch." After saying that, they quietly moved closer to the old patriarch. The old patriarch smiled and said, "We're all on the same side, why are you so polite? Besides, the one who should thank you should be me." Haha, the 3 of them laughed out loud. But suddenly, The three of them attacked at the same time, their battle chi surging. The burly man suddenly punched him in the chest. The old woman and old man Snakeskin also slapped him on the back. The old patriarch immediately screamed, blood spurting out of his mouth. This sudden turn of events left the old patriarch completely dumbfounded. The burly man sneered and took the opportunity to punch the old patriarch's head. Boom! Accompanied by a loud crack, the old patriarch's head suddenly burst, and blood spurted out. The old patriarch didn't even understand what was going on before he died. With a bang, he fell into a pool of blood. Swish! The next moment, Qin Feiyong appeared out of thin air, looked at the old patriarch's corpse, and said with a smile, "The three of you are really good." The old woman chuckled and said meaningfully, "Little brother, you have to keep your word." "Of course," Qin Feiyong said. "Old patriarch." A group of guards stood above the deep pit, their eyes filled with disbelief. They heard the old patriarch scream and wanted to come over to see what was going on. However, he didn't expect that. The old patriarch was actually dead. "Hurry up. Go and report to the patriarch that Qin Feiyong has joined forces with the three leaders." After regaining their senses, the guards turned around and ran towards the city lord's mansion. Qin Feiyong's eyes were filled with killing intent as he said, "I'll have to trouble the three of you to go to the city lord's mansion and get rid of the Meng family lord." The old woman asked, "What about you?" Qin Feiyong said, "I'm going to clean up the remaining evil in the city." The old woman smiled and said, "I don't think that's a good idea. It's better that I go and clean up the remaining evil. You go with the two of them to the city lord's mansion." "You don't believe me?" Qin Feiyong frowned. Old man Shipai laughed sinisterly. "You are too cunning, we have to be on our guard." Qin Feiyong glanced at the three of them and nodded. "All right, I'll listen to you. Let's go then." Old man Shipai waved his hand and swept up Qin Feiyong, flying out of the pit and towards the city lord's mansion. The burly man was also preparing to fly out of the pit. The old woman grabbed him and whispered, "All the treasures of the trading pavilion are on him. Don't let him slip away." "I understand." The burly man nodded. Whoosh! The two of them flew out of the pit at the same time. The burly man immediately chased after Qin Feiyong and old man Shipai. The old woman soared into the sky alone, looking down at White Fox City with a crazed look in her eyes. The Meng family's people were scattered in every corner of White Fox City. It was too troublesome to find them one by one. She might as well destroy the city and kill everyone. "Go to hell." She laughed sinisterly, stretching out her arm and pointing her index finger in the air. A burst of battle chi shot out and blasted into the city below. Rumble! Accompanied by an earth-shattering explosion, several hundred meters of land was razed to the ground. Everyone died tragically. Qin Feiyong and the other two had already entered the city lord's mansion. Everyone they encountered was mercilessly killed by old man Shipai and the burly man. Not a single person was left alive. Wherever they passed, cold corpses were left behind. The void was filled with a bloody mist, and the smell of blood was pungent. Hearing the explosion outside the city, Qin Feiyong raised his eyebrows and asked, "Is she killing innocent people outside?" The burly man comforted him. "There will definitely be some innocent people who will die. But don't worry, she won't go so far as to massacre everyone in the city." "Is that so?" Qin Feiyong frowned. The burly man sneered, looking at old man Shipai and said, "You take him to the Meng family lord. I will kill everyone in the city lord's mansion." "Okay." Old man Shipai nodded. "Haha, die for me." The burly man turned in the air and waved his hand. A burst of battle chi appeared and turned into countless dazzling arrows, shooting down. One by one, the guards and maids fell to the ground. Miserable screams were endless. What's going on? With such a huge commotion, how could the Meng family lord not hear it? He rushed out from the main hall, and as soon as he saw the burly man slaughtering everyone, his expression changed. Whoosh! Old man Shipai and Qin Feiyong stopped in the air not far from the main hall. The Meng family lord glanced at Qin Feiyong, then looked at old man Shipai and said angrily, "Why are you doing this?" "Why? Qin Feiyong has already told us about your Meng family's shady business. Your Meng family even dares to scheme against our three tribes. You're really courting death. Today will be the end of your Meng family." Old Man Shi Pai said with a sinister smile. The Meng family lord's body trembled. His eyes turned to Qin Feiyong and said, "Little bastard, I will kill you." Qin Feiyong said, "The old family lord is dead. What do you have to kill me?" "What? Father is dead." The Meng family lord was stunned. Right at this moment, Old Man Shi Pai pointed at the main hall. A stream of battle chi shot out from his fingertip and blasted into the main hall like lightning. Rumble! The main hall was instantly destroyed. A frightening wave of destructive energy swept out in all directions. Everything in the surroundings was crushed into powder. "Bastard! You're going against my Meng family, you're all going to die." Seeing this scene, the Meng family lord gritted his teeth. He clapped his hand in the air, and his battle chi surged, instantly turning into a giant hand that covered the sky, slapping toward Qin Feiyong and Old Man Shi Pai. "You're just an ant, how high can you jump?" Old Man Shi Pai said disdainfully. He pointed his finger in the air. A stream of battle chi went against the flow and easily shattered the giant hand. Puff! The Meng family lord spat out a mouthful of blood. Without the old master, the Meng family is just a bunch of mobs. Old Man Shi Pai's face was full of contempt. He stretched out his hand in the air, and his battle chi turned into a giant wave that covered the sky and the sun, rushing toward the Meng family lord. The Meng family lord's pupils constricted. However, he was not afraid at all. Even without the old master, the Meng family is not something people like you can offend. Right at this moment, a sullen voice sounded. Whoosh! Following that, a white figure rushed out from the dust below and landed in front of the Meng family lord. It was a middle-aged woman. She was wearing a mink fur coat, and her long black hair was tied up high, looking graceful and luxurious. In her arms she was holding an unconscious young woman, Meng Tong. She turned around and handed Meng Tong to the Meng family lord. Then she raised her head and looked at the roaring battle chi. Old Man Shi Pai sneered. "I was wondering who it was. So it's the wife of the Meng family lord." "She's the wife that the guards mentioned?" Qin Feiyong was surprised. When Old Man Shi Pai attacked the main hall, he had used all of his strength. But this woman was unharmed? Could she be a 3-star combat emperor? The woman lowered her head and looked at Qin Feiyong and Old Man Shi Pai, saying, "The strength of the Meng family is far beyond this." Boom! An aura suddenly erupted. At the same time, she raised her arm and pointed in the air. A dazzling battle chi pierced through the sky and collided with Old Man Shi Pai's battle chi. Boom! With a loud explosion, Old Man Shi Pai was defeated. His battle chi was instantly destroyed, and he spurted out a mouthful of blood. So strong! Qin Feiyong's pupils constricted. He had seriously underestimated the strength of this woman. The aura she released was even stronger than the old master. Old Man Shi Pai was also shocked and filled with disbelief. "Are you surprised?" The woman glanced at the two indifferently. A terrifying aura, like the eruption of a volcano, enveloped the two of them. The burly man and the old woman in the distance sensed the situation here, and their eyes were filled with bewilderment. Whoosh! The two turned into a ray of light and quickly flew over. She is a 4-star combat emperor. At this moment, Old Man Shi Pai was completely stunned by the strength of the middle-aged woman. "Don't you know her? Why don't you know her strength?" Qin Feiyong frowned. "I have indeed met her once, but at that time she deliberately concealed her aura." Old Man Shi Pai was furious. He didn't expect the Meng family to be hiding such an expert. Strange. Why would she conceal her aura? Qin Feiyong mumbled to himself. What was even stranger was that when he held Meng Tong hostage in the trading pavilion, this woman didn't appear. One had to know. As a mother, she would definitely be anxious if she knew her daughter was in danger. Wasn't this person too calm? Was she not her biological daughter? The Meng family lord's eyes were cold as he said in a low voice, "Madam, don't talk nonsense with them, quickly kill them." Sky-destroying finger. The middle-aged woman raised her hand and pointed in the air. Battle chi poured out like a torrent. In an instant, it condensed into a giant finger that was more than 30 meters long. "Destroy." As she spoke coldly, the giant finger trembled in the void, releasing a world-destroying aura that blasted toward Qin Feiyong and Qin Yu. "Qin Feiyong, we are no match for her. Quickly take me to hide." Old Man Shi Pai said in horror. Qin Feiyong's eyes flashed as he went to the ancient castle alone. Bringing this old man into the ancient castle was like inviting a wolf into the house. He wouldn't do such a stupid thing. Damn little bastard. Old Man Shi Pai cursed angrily. Without any hesitation, he turned around and began to flee. At this moment, the old woman and the burly man rushed over. When he saw the huge finger and the middle-aged woman's cultivation, his expression abruptly changed. He turned around in the air and began to flee without looking back. Help me. Her speed is much faster than us. If we don't kill her, we can't leave White Fox City alive. Chapter 373. Heard of it. The old woman and the burly man had a trace of hostility in their eyes. They turned around abruptly and rushed towards the old man. After the three of them gathered, they immediately launched a counterattack. Boom! 3 streams of battle chi surged out and transformed into 3 giant beasts that were dozens of feet long. They roared ferociously and charged towards the giant finger. However, the power of the giant finger was extremely shocking, and it actually crushed the 3 giant beasts. Then, it continued to charge towards the 3 leaders. Puff! The 3 leaders spat out a mouthful of blood. So strong! Her sky-destroying finger is actually a mid-tier battle art. After one round, the 3 of them were scared out of their wits and no longer had the courage to fight. Because the battle arts they had mastered were all low-tier battle arts. The middle-aged woman's cultivation was not only higher than theirs, but her battle arts were also better than theirs. There was no chance of winning at all. However, it was impossible to escape. There was only one way left: surrender. Meng family lord, this is our fault. Please let us go for the sake of our past relationship. Yes, we were instigated by that little bastard Qin Feiyong. We are willing to compensate your Meng family for their loss. The 3 of them hurriedly pleaded. The Meng family lord shouted, "Can you afford to compensate for my father's death?" But at this moment, the middle-aged woman waved her hand, and the giant finger collapsed with a bang. The Meng family lord frowned and said, "Madam, why are you doing this?" The middle-aged woman said, "If we kill them, the old family head won't come back to life. It's better to leave them alive and use them for us." The Meng family lord hesitated for a moment and nodded. "All right, I'll listen to madam. Thank you for not killing us, madam." The 3 leaders were also overjoyed and bowed to thank her. The middle-aged woman said, "From today onwards, your 3 tribes will join my Meng family." What? Impossible. Our 3 tribes are the most powerful tribes in this area. If we join your Meng family, won't we become the laughingstock of the world? Madam, please change the condition. The 3 leaders said. The middle-aged woman said coldly, "Die? Or join my Meng family? I'll give you 3 breaths of time to choose." 1, 2, 3. 3 breaths passed quickly. But to the 3 leaders, these 3 breaths were simply torture. Seems that you have chosen death. The middle-aged woman's eyes turned cold. Wait, we agreed to merge with the Meng clan. The 3 of them hurriedly said. The middle-aged woman said, "At least you know what's good for you. Come in front of me." The 3 leaders looked at each other, their hearts filled with helplessness and anger. They flew in front of the middle-aged woman and cupped their hands. "Madam, what are your orders?" The middle-aged woman didn't say anything. She placed her hands in front of her chest and formed a seal with her fingers. Wang! Suddenly, 3 pentagrams the size of a baby's palm flew out from her hands. They were majestic and generous, emitting a kind of obscure aura. Whoosh! Following closely, the 3 pentagrams merged into the heads of the 3 chiefs. The 3 of them turned pale and shouted in anger, "What did you do to us? This is an enslavement seal. The enslavement seal will fuse with your bloodline. From now on you are my slaves. You have to obey my every order unconditionally. Otherwise I don't need to do anything. With just a thought your bodies will explode and die." The middle-aged woman said, "What? It's actually an enslavement seal." The 3 leaders' bodies and minds trembled, their eyes filled with despair. Inside the ancient castle, Fatso asked doubtfully, "Boss, what is an enslavement seal?" "I'm not sure either." Qin Feiyang shook his head. But from the sound of it, this enslavement seal should be a kind of battle art to control people. What do we do now? Wolf King asked. A wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him. Retreat first. The pangolin beast said. Qin Feiyang frowned. Originally, he wanted to use the 3 leaders to get rid of the Meng clan. However, he didn't expect that there was actually a 4-star combat emperor hidden. Now that even the 3 leaders were controlled by the Meng clan, with the strength of the few of them, there was no chance of winning. Forget it. He would listen to the pangolin beast. Anyway, he had already obtained the treasures in the warehouse, so there was no need to take any more risks. He might as well find an opportunity to leave. He took out a teleportation gate, his eyes flashed, and in the blink of an eye, he appeared outside. Immediately after, with a wave of his hand, he quickly opened the teleportation gate. Boom! However, before he could walk in, a battle chi broke through the air and smashed the teleportation gate. Swish! Following that, the middle-aged woman landed opposite Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang frowned and said, "What exactly do you want? Do you have to fight to the death?" The middle-aged woman said, "Hand over the treasures in the warehouse and become my slave. Then I won't kill you." "Won't kill me?" Qin Feiyang was stunned and asked, "Why?" The middle-aged woman said, "Because you are an alchemist, my White Fox City needs an alchemist." Qin Feiyang said, "Are you so sure that I am an alchemist? It's not hard to guess. I heard from Meng Yiping that you only looted those medicinal herbs on the 2nd floor of the trading pavilion, but turned a blind eye to those pills. Doesn't this prove that you are an alchemist? Moreover, according to my speculation, your mental strength is not low, otherwise you would not have looked down on those pills," the middle-aged woman said. Meng Yiping was the name of the Meng family lord. Amazing! Qin Feiyang gave a thumbs up, looked at Meng Yiping and said, "You are such a smart woman, why did you marry such an idiot? He is not worthy of you at all." Meng Yiping shouted, "Impudent, don't be rude to my wife." Qin Feiyang was stunned. What was going on? Why was there a trace of respect between Meng Yiping's brows? Even if this woman was stronger than Meng Yiping, as a husband and wife who slept on the same bed, she should not have such an expression. Moreover, this woman also called Meng Yiping by his name. The relationship between these two was really thought-provoking. The middle-aged woman said, "I will also give you 3 breaths to consider." 3 breaths? Qin Feiyang shook his head and smiled. "You are quite straightforward, unlike some people who appear to be a gentleman on the surface, but secretly are despicable villains." Meng Yiping shouted, "I dare you to say that again. It will be the same no matter how many times I say it." Qin Feiyang gave him a disdainful look, then looked at the middle-aged woman and said, "I am sorry, although I am weak, I am very stubborn. If you want me to be someone else's slave, I will not do it. Then I will have to kill you." As soon as the middle-aged woman finished speaking, a wave of pressure shrouded Qin Feiyang. "It's useless. Although you are a little stronger than the old master, you can't imprison me with your pressure." Qin Feiyang grinned and instantly disappeared without a trace. The middle-aged woman raised her eyebrows, looked up at the 3 leaders and said, "The 3 of you come down." Whoosh! The 3 of them respectfully landed in front of her. The middle-aged woman said, "The 3 of you stay here. If he escapes, I will kill you." "Yes." The 3 of them bowed in response. The middle-aged woman looked at Meng Yiping and said, "You should also quickly clean up the mess." "Okay." Meng Yiping nodded. Swoosh! After the middle-aged woman finished speaking, she rose into the air and disappeared into a large hall not far away. Inside the ancient castle, Fatso frowned. The way this couple interacts is really strange. Qin Feiyang nodded, also a little puzzled. Lu Hong suddenly opened her eyes and said, "Have you ever thought that maybe we have misunderstood and they are actually not husband and wife? That's impossible. If they are not husband and wife, why would Meng Yiping call her madam? Moreover, if they are really not husband and wife, when boss said that Meng Yiping is not worthy of her, she should have denied it. But she didn't deny it." Fatso said. Lu Hong said, "Then is it possible that she wants to use Meng Yiping to hide her identity?" Hide her identity? Qin Feiyang and Fatso looked at each other and frowned slightly. In addition, the title Madam is not an exclusive title between husband and wife. It can also be a form of respect. For example, when manager Li Ji in Yen City called Luo Qianxue, didn't he also call her Madam? Lu Hong said again. That's right, why didn't I think of that? Her words woke them up from their dreams. Qin Feiyong and Fatso suddenly felt that the clouds and fog had dispersed, and they suddenly saw the light. When Meng Tong was held hostage by us, that woman did not show up and acted indifferent. Meng Yiping looked at her with respect. During the 2 months when we wreaked havoc in the city lord's mansion, she did not appear once. The most important thing is that she is still hiding her strength. Based on the above traces, Fat Lord can basically conclude that they are not husband and wife. But what is this woman hiding? Fatso frowned, full of confusion. No matter what she is hiding, it has nothing to do with us. Focus on your cultivation and wait for an opportunity. If there's no other way, we'll go into seclusion here and break through to the War Emperor before we go out, Qin Feiyong said. What kind of joke is this? You can break through to the War Emperor in 5 years? I'm afraid that before you break through to the War Emperor, you will have already died from the poison, the pangolin said. Idiot. Fatso and Wolf King rolled their eyes at it. The pangolin said, Did I say something wrong? I'm too lazy to talk nonsense with you. Wolf King glanced at it disdainfully, then lay down at the side, swallowed 2 battle chi pills and began to sleep. Fatso also sat cross-legged on the ground and entered a state of cultivation. Qin Feiyong walked to the front of the iron box and continued to copy the 5th stroke. The 5th stroke was just a little bit away. He estimated that he would be able to copy it successfully in less than 10 days. The pangolin looked at Wolf King and Fatso, then looked at Qin Feiyong and said angrily, I say, can you guys stop keeping me in suspense? We have all opened the 3rd level of the Gate of Potential, and we also have the highest grade battle chi pill. In at most 2 years we will all be able to step into the War Emperor. Lu Hong said with a smile, then closed his eyes and began to cultivate. Gate of Potential. The pangolin was dumbstruck. Last time in the Butterfly Valley, when the ugly old woman asked Qin Feiyong to take off his clothes, the pangolin was still unconscious. So, only now did it know that Qin Feiyong and the others had actually opened the legendary Gate of Potential. Its eyes immediately flickered. Opening the Gate of Potential was not an ordinary difficulty. However, Qin Feiyong, Fatso, Ruffian Wolf, and Lu Hong had all broken through the shackles and even opened the 3rd level. This was definitely not a coincidence. Could it be that this Qin Feiyong had some treasure on him that could open the Gate of Potential? When it thought of this, it became extremely excited. It eagerly ran to Qin Feiyong's side and said with a flattering smile, Brother Qin, are you free? How about we discuss it? Brother Qin. Qin Feiyong's face twitched, goosebumps appeared all over his body, and he angrily said, I'm not free, don't disturb me. The pangolin resentfully retreated to the side. But he was unwilling. He then ran to look for Wolf King, but Wolf King ignored him, so he went to look for Fatso. Seeing that Fatso also ignored him, he went to look for Lu Hong. Lu Hong was kind enough to say that when it broke through to the 9-star Battle King, it would look for Qin Feiyong to ask for a few potential pills. It was immediately overjoyed and began to cultivate in seclusion. Chapter 374. In the blink of an eye, 8 days had passed. Qin Feiyong had finally finished the 5th stroke, and his cultivation had broken through to the 6-star Battle King realm. However, Wolf King had already stepped into the 6-star Battle King realm a few days ago. This astonishing speed made Qin Feiyong unable to help but believe that this fellow might really be a god wolf that had been taught by an expert. As for Fatso, he was still stuck at the 3-star Battle King realm, and it would take him a few more days to break through. The 3 leaders had been guarding outside, and they were unable to leave. Qin Feiyong was not in a hurry, and he continued to copy the 6th stroke. All this while, trouble had been knocking on his door, and he had not been able to cultivate properly. Therefore, he might as well take advantage of this rare opportunity to improve his strength. In a certain hall, a middle-aged woman was sitting on a praying mat with her eyes closed. Dong dong. Someone knocked on the door. Come in. The middle-aged woman opened her eyes. The door was pushed open and Meng Yiping walked in. He bowed and said, "Greetings, madam." The middle-aged woman asked, "How is your daughter?" Meng Yiping said, "Thank you for your concern, madam. Tonger is fine now." "What about Qin Feiyang?" the middle-aged woman asked. "He hasn't shown up yet, so he must be determined to drag this out with us." At the mention of Qin Feiyang, Meng Yiping's face was filled with hatred. The middle-aged woman frowned and asked, "Are you blaming me for not killing the 3 leaders to avenge the old master?" "I wouldn't dare." Meng Yiping hurriedly shook his head. The middle-aged woman looked at him deeply, then waved her hand and said, "You may leave. Inform me immediately if anything happens." "This subordinate will take his leave." Meng Yiping cupped his hands, then turned around and left. "There's one more thing you have to pay attention to. Qin Feiyang's mind is not simple. Don't let him find out about our relationship," the middle-aged woman warned. "Understood." Meng Yiping nodded and quickly left the room, closing the door behind him. The middle-aged woman looked at the tightly shut door, and after a moment of daze, she quickly formed a seal with her hands, and an enslavement seal appeared. Next, the enslavement seal rose into the air and floated in front of her. "Everything I once had was destroyed because of you. From now on, I will use you to unify this continent and become the only emperor in this world." She looked at the enslavement seal with an indescribable light in her eyes. In the capital city of the spiritual state, in the resting room of the precious treasure pavilion, a woman in colorful clothes sat alone beside the tea table, muttering to herself. A moment later, Yin Yuanming hurriedly walked into the lounge and asked, "Pavilion master, why did you call me here in such a hurry?" The multicolor-clothed woman asked, "Have you contacted Qin Feiyang?" Yin Yuanming shook his head. "It's been so long, why is there still no news? Is he dead?" The multicolor-clothed woman frowned. "Indeed, some people are saying that he might already be dead. But I don't believe that kid is dead. He must be fooling around somewhere." Yin Yuanming pursed his lips. "Then, do you think we should continue to ban the Lu clan? During this period of time, old monster Lu has been bothering me every day. If it weren't for the manor head, I wouldn't have been able to hold on any longer." The multicolor-clothed woman was somewhat annoyed. Yin Yuanming pondered for a moment and said, "Let's lift it for the time being. We'll discuss it again when Qin Feiyang returns." The multicolor-clothed woman said, "All right, give the order later to lift the ban on the Lu clan." "All right." Yin Yuanming nodded and left with a bow. Holy Palace. Lu Yun's residence. Lu Yun sat in the pavilion with Yan Nanshan standing beside him. Lu Yun asked, "Has Qin Feiyang contacted you?" "No. I've sent him a message every few days, but it's like a stone sinking into the sea. There's no response." Yan Nanshan's face was filled with worry. "Is he really dead?" Lu Yun frowned. Yan Nanshan said, "That's impossible. With his abilities, no one can kill him." "That might not be the case. The Lu clan and the Dong clan both want to get rid of him. I'm just worried that the old monsters of these 2 clans will assassinate him without anyone noticing," Lu Yun said. Yan Nanshan's heart sank. It might really be possible. Because, if someone else had sent a message to Qin Feiyang, it would have been normal for Qin Feiyang to not respond. However, with his relationship with Qin Feiyang, no matter how busy Qin Feiyang was, he would still take the time to respond and inform him that he was safe. Lu Yun said, "Yan Nanshan, why don't you go outside the city and see if there are any clues? You can also go to the Lu clan and the Dong clan to sound them out." "All right." Yan Nanshan nodded and transformed into a stream of light that tore through the sky. At the same time, Holy Palace on a certain mountain peak. A beautiful figure stood in the wind. Her white clothes fluttered as her black hair danced in the wind. She was like a fairy from the 9 heavens who wanted to ride the wind. "Feiyang, where did you go?" She gazed at the distant horizon, her clear eyes filled with worry that could not be dispelled. She was none other than Ren Wushuang. Some people were worried about Qin Feiyang's disappearance, while others were happy. People like Xiao Hong and Dong Cheng, who had a grudge against Qin Feiyang, naturally hoped that Qin Feiyang would really die outside and never return. The Forgotten Land. Time passed day by day. Qin Feiyang was already halfway through the 6th stroke. During this period, Fatso had also broken through to become a 4-star battle monarch, and was crazily trying to become a 5-star battle monarch. Seeing that everyone was improving while it remained the same, the pangolin yearned for the potential pill even more. This king must work hard. With them as my goal, no, this king must surpass them. Sooner or later, this king will ride on the back of a ruffian wolf. Secretly swore. Qin Feiyang, master wants to talk to you. If you hear him, come out immediately. A few days later, the burly man's voice sounded in the ancient castle. However, Qin Feiyang ignored him. Tell him that there's no point in wasting time like this. The sooner he surrenders to me, the sooner he can live a carefree life. After the burly man returned to report to the middle-aged woman, the middle-aged woman snorted coldly. However, when the burly man conveyed the message to Qin Feiyang still ignored him. Time flew by. On this day, the 6th stroke was completed. Qin Feiyang's cultivation once again welcomed a breakthrough. 7-star battle monarch. He finally retracted his arm and closed the 6-word divine formula. Because the battle chi pills were almost exhausted, it was time to start refining pills. And this time it took him a total of 50 days to complete the 6th stroke. Carefully calculating, it had been more than 4 months since he entered the Forgotten Land. Yin Nanshan and Ren Wushuang must be worried. Qin Feiyang remembered the time very clearly, because he had to take a drop of transparent liquid every other month. Including the drop he took in the Butterfly Valley, he had taken 4 drops now. Phew. He let out a long breath and turned to look at Wolf King. This bastard had already stepped into the 7-star battle monarch half a month ago. He estimated that when he refined the pills, he would break through again. Freak. Qin Feiyang muttered, threw away all distracting thoughts, and began to refine the battle chi pills. This time he refined for more than 20 days in a row. He didn't stop until his mental strength was exhausted. In total, he refined more than 200,000 pills. On average, he could refine 1 pill every 10 breaths. Even in the entire holy sanctum, no one would dare to compare with him at this speed. Suddenly, his heart was caught off guard and another sharp pain came. Coupled with the exhaustion of his mental strength, he directly somersaulted and fell to the ground with a bang. What's wrong? Fatso, Lu Hong, Wolf King, and the pangolin were all awakened. Qin Feiyang hurriedly took out a jade bottle and drank a drop of transparent liquid. Only then did the sharp pain disappear. This was the 5th drop, which meant that they had been in the Forgotten Land for 5 months. Phew. Qin Feiyang took a deep breath, got up and said with a smile, "It's just the black poison acting up. It's nothing serious. There's no need to cultivate anymore." Wolf King chuckled and suddenly jumped up. And just as he got up, his aura suddenly soared and instantly rushed to the 8-star battle monarch. Sure enough, he broke through. Qin Feiyang's face twitched. The pangolin roared, "Damn, how can I live like this?" In just 5 months, Wolf King soared from the 4-star battle monarch to the 8-star battle monarch. Qin Feiyang also raised his cultivation to the 7-star battle monarch. If he didn't refine pills and didn't have those troublesome matters, he would probably be an 8-star battle monarch by now. And Fatso, boom. When it looked at Fatso's cultivation had also broken through. He was a 5-star battle monarch. The pangolin was about to cry. When they first met, Fatso was only a 2-star battle monarch. Now not only had he caught up with it, he had even surpassed it. A bunch of monsters. At this speed, they wouldn't need 5 years to break through to the Battle Emperor realm. I have to work hard. I have to open the door of potential. It roared and continued to cultivate. Qin Feiyang looked at it and couldn't help but find it funny. He then looked at Fatso and Wolf King and nodded in satisfaction. After this seclusion, their overall strength had increased several times. True enough. As long as they cultivated in seclusion, their cultivation speed would soar like a rocket. He believed that it wouldn't take long for a battle emperor to be born in this small team. Suddenly Qin Feiyang seemed to have thought of something. He glanced at the ancient castle and asked, "Where is the cluster of pill fire and pill furnace that I collected?" "They're with me." Lu Hong opened her eyes and took out a palm-sized iron box and a pill furnace from her Qinkuan bag. It was looted from the old patriarch's alchemy room. At that time, Qin Feiyang directly kept it in the ancient castle. Lu Hong was afraid that the pangolin would have other ideas, so she kept it. "You're too considerate." Qin Feiyang smiled. He grabbed the iron box with one hand and the pill furnace with the other, then turned around and walked to the altar. After placing the pill furnace beside the bronze pill furnace, he opened the iron box. A wave of heat immediately surged out from the iron box. The old patriarch was dead, so the pill fire was an ownerless item. Without an owner, the pill fire would automatically recover and release its original high temperature. However, the grade of this cluster of pill fire wasn't high. The high temperature was no longer a threat to Qin Feiyang and the others. However, the iron box that contained the pill fire surprised Qin Feiyang. Although the temperature of the pill fire wasn't high, it was still easy to melt iron. However, it had been more than 2 months since the old patriarch's death. In other words, the pill fire had recovered for more than 2 months. However, the outside of the iron box couldn't feel the slightest bit of heat. There was even a cold feeling. This iron box shouldn't be an ordinary item either. Qin Feiyang grabbed the iron box and looked at it curiously. But he didn't notice. The nether devil flame floating above the bronze pill furnace was also undergoing a change. Chapter 375. Boss, look at your head. Fatso was the first to discover the change of the netherworld demonic flame. He heard about it. Wolf King and Lu Hong looked up. What's going on? The Wolf King's eyes widened. Qin Feiyang looked at them suspiciously. What's the fuss? However, when he looked up and saw the change of the netherworld demonic flame, his pupils shrank slightly. What's going on? He didn't revive the netherworld demonic flame. Whoosh! Suddenly, wisps of black flame shot toward Qin Feiyang. Rebellion! Qin Feiyang was stunned. His eyes suddenly turned cold. With a thought, the black flame disappeared into thin air. The revived netherworld demonic flame returned to normal. Wolf King came up and asked curiously, Little Qinzi, what's going on? I don't know. Qin Feiyang shook his head. He temporarily put down the iron box and stretched out his arm. The netherworld demonic flame fell into his palm. After carefully sensing for a moment, there was no change in the netherworld demonic flame. But why did it suddenly change? There must be a reason. After pondering for a moment, he simply didn't control the netherworld demonic flame. Let's see what the netherworld demonic flame wanted to do. The netherworld demonic flame that lost control, like a runaway wild horse, immediately rushed toward Qin Feiyang's left hand. Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows. Was it really going to rebel? However, the result was far beyond his expectations. The target of the netherworld demonic flame was not him at all. It was the cluster of alchemy fire in his left hand. The netherworld demonic flame, like a hungry wolf, rushed toward the alchemy fire. Patches of dark demonic flame spurted out and wrapped around the alchemy fire. Then, an amazing scene appeared. The netherworld demonic flame was actually swallowing the alchemy fire. That's right. It was swallowing. The alchemy fire wrapped in the demonic flame disappeared at a speed visible to the naked eye. On the other hand, the netherworld demonic flame was burning more and more vigorously. Qin Feiyang and the others looked at each other. After all this time, it turned out that this nether devil flame wanted to devour that cluster of pill fire? But wasn't this too inconceivable? Wolf King asked in surprise, Little Qinzi, have you ever seen something like this in the capital? I can swear that I didn't. Qin Feiyang shook his head. Damn, you really are from the imperial capital. The pangolin had originally planned to enter seclusion in peace, but when it heard these words, it suddenly opened its eyes and looked at Qin Feiyang, its eyes shining. But at this moment no one paid any attention to it. They were all looking at the netherworld demonic flame. A dozen breaths later, that cluster of flames completely disappeared. The revived nether devil flame finally calmed down. But at the same time, some information appeared in Qin Feiyang's mind out of nowhere. This was information about the netherworld devil flame. Qin Feiyang closed his eyes and carefully read the information. A moment later, he abruptly opened his eyes. 2 rays of bright light burst out of his eyes. What is it? Fatso and the others looked at him in surprise. Qin Feiyang said, the netherworld devil flame is a first-grade pill fire. Wolf King said, is there something wrong with you? It's just a second-grade pill fire. Why are you so happy? Qin Feiyong said with a smile, if it was just an ordinary second-grade pill fire, of course I wouldn't be so happy. What do you mean? Wolf King was surprised. Although the Netherworld Devil Flame is only a second-grade pill fire, it has an amazing ability. It can increase its grade by devouring other pill fires. Qin Feiyong said. The Wolf King was dumbfounded when he heard this. The grade of pill fire could be increased? Was this a joke? But it seemed that little Qin Zi never joked easily. Fatso said in surprise, how many pill fires does it need to devour? Can it devour all pill fires? Of course not. The Netherworld Devil Flame can only devour pill fires of the same grade. Now, the Netherworld Devil Flame is a second-grade pill fire, so it can only devour second-grade pill fires, and it needs to devour 3 second-grade pill fires to reach the third grade. Similarly, when the Netherworld Devil Flame reaches the third grade, it needs to devour 3 third-grade pill fires to reach the fourth grade. In short, that's it, and so on. Qin Feiyong said. Damn, it's so awesome. Fatso was dumbfounded and said, if it devours a first-grade pill fire now, will there be any effect? There will be an effect, but the effect is very small and almost negligible. Only by devouring pill fires of the same grade can the effect be fully exerted, Qin Feiyong said. Awesome. Fatso looked at the Netherworld Devil Flame with shock in his eyes. Lu Hong frowned and said, don't blame me for dampening your enthusiasm. It's too early to be happy. Why? Wolf King didn't understand. Lu Hong said, you all know how rare pill fires are. It's unrealistic to find 3 second-grade pill fires for it to devour. Qin Feiyong and the others were stunned, and then they smiled bitterly. Lu Hong was right. Although the Netherworld Devil Flame could be upgraded, there were too few pill fires. To upgrade it by 1 grade was harder than ascending to the sky. Fatso asked, what grade was the pill fire that it devoured just now? Qin Feiyong said, second grade. That is to say, as long as it devours 2 second-grade pill fires, it can upgrade the Netherworld Devil Flame to the third grade. Fat Lord remembered that the 3 chiefs said that their tribes have pill fires, right? Let's just rob them. Maybe the pill fires in their tribes are second-grade pill fires, Fatso said. Qin Feiyong's eyes lit up. Wolf King urged, there's no time to lose. Let's start immediately. Start my ass. Qin Feiyong's face darkened, and he gave it a slap on the head. Of course he knew. As long as the Netherworld Devil Flame was upgraded to the third grade, it would be able to refine pills with 2 pill veins. But now, even going out was a problem, let alone going to the 3 major tribes. Fatso suddenly asked, boss, can the Netherworld Devil Flame devour pill fires that are of a higher grade than itself? It can't. Qin Feiyong shook his head. Lu Hong asked, is the Netherworld Devil Flame a second-grade pill fire when it's born? Yes. Qin Feiyong nodded. Lu Hong pursed her lips and smiled. It seems that Xuan still doesn't know about this ability of the Netherworld Devil Flame. Otherwise he would have killed you. He really doesn't know. Because the Netherworld Devil Flame is very special. It needs to devour a pill fire before it can be considered a true master. Only then will the information about the Netherworld Devil Flame appear in the mind. Let's not talk about it. Isn't that woman looking for me? I'll go out and talk to her. Qin Feiyong said. Lu Hong said. Then you have to be careful. Qin Feiyong nodded, grabbed the iron box, looked at it curiously, and put it into his Qinkuan bag. Swish. The next moment, he appeared outside. You still came out. And here I was wondering how capable you were. It turns out that you're just a so-so. The 3 chiefs' eyes were cold. Qin Feiyong laughed. I'm not that capable, but at least I didn't become someone's watchdog. Who are you talking about? Old Snakeskin's eyes were cold. Qin Feiyong said lightly, I'm talking about whoever is in front of me. Bastard. Otherwise, because of your selfishness, we wouldn't be in this situation today. Little bastard, if it weren't for the master's order, I would kill you now. The 3 of them said coldly. I'm selfish? Ridiculous. Do you really think I don't know what you're thinking? If that woman didn't appear after the Meng family was eliminated, the next one to die would be me. Am I right? Qin Feiyong's eyes were full of mockery. The 3 chiefs' eyes were spitting fire. They couldn't wait to tear Qin Feiyong into pieces. Qin Feiyong said, don't stare at me like that. I'm not interested in you, and you're not qualified to talk to me now. Take me to see your master. Just you wait. You'll die miserably sooner or later. The three of them smiled coldly, surrounding Qin Feiyong in the middle, and walked toward a hall. At the entrance of the hall there were 10 guards. When they saw Qin Feiyong coming, their eyes were full of coldness. Old Snakeskin gloated, "See, the Meng family can't wait to tear you into pieces." Qin Feiyong said lightly, "So what? It's better than being someone's watchdog. You're courting death." Old Man Snakeskin abruptly turned his head, staring at Qin Feiyong. "Why don't you try touching me?" Qin Feiyong wasn't afraid at all, looking at him provocatively. "Humph." Old Snakeskin snorted, turned around and continued walking toward the hall. A short while later, the four of them arrived at the hall. Old Snakeskin bowed and said, "Master, we've brought Qin Feiyong. Bring him up." The middle-aged woman's voice came from a room on the second floor. The three of them brought Qin Feiyong into the hall, went upstairs and stopped in front of a door. In the meantime, Qin Feiyong wanted to find a chance to slip away, but the three of them were watching him carefully, not giving him the slightest chance. Old Snakeskin said respectfully, "Master, he's here." The middle-aged woman said, "Come in." Old Snakeskin pushed open the door, and a lounge of about 10 feet suddenly entered Qin Feiyong's sight. The middle-aged woman was sitting at the tea table, sipping tea while looking at Qin Feiyong. "Go in." The burly man pushed Qin Feiyong hard. Qin Feiyong raised his eyebrows, turned to look at the three leaders, and a cold light flashed in the depths of his eyes. Immediately, he walked into the lounge and sat opposite the middle-aged woman casually. He didn't hold back. He directly picked up the teapot, grabbed a teacup, poured a cup of tea, tasted it, and nodded with a smile. "The taste is not bad. Madam really knows how to enjoy." "How dare you? Don't be rude in front of Madam." The three leaders shouted angrily and rushed toward Qin Feiyong aggressively. "You guys step back." But at this moment, the middle-aged woman said indifferently. The three of them froze. Old Snakeskin said, "Madam, he's so rude, you should kill him." The middle-aged woman frowned and said, "I'll only say it twice, step back." "Yes." The three of them responded respectfully, and then glanced at Qin Feiyong with resentment, bowed and left the lounge, and closed the door tightly. They wanted to take the opportunity to get rid of Qin Feiyong, but they didn't expect that they would be reprimanded by the middle-aged woman in the end. A little battle king was more important than the three of them? On what basis? They were not convinced. Chapter 376. In the lounge, there was dead silence. The middle-aged woman looked at Qin Feiyong with a strange light in her eyes. Breaking through to the 7-star battle king so quickly? Qin Feiyong did not say anything and continued to drink his tea. A moment later, the middle-aged woman finally broke the silence and said with a faint smile, "You are very bold. Aren't you afraid that I will poison your tea?" Qin Feiyong said indifferently, "I'm not even afraid of the black demon poison, let alone other poisons." "Black demon poison?" The middle-aged woman was stunned and asked, "What kind of poison is that?" Qin Feiyong did not answer. While drinking his tea, he smiled and said, "Madam, if you have something to say, just say it." The middle-aged woman pursed her lips and smiled, saying, "Become my subordinate, and I will guarantee you a lifetime of glory." Qin Feiyong was stunned. A mere 4-star battle emperor dared to say such words? He looked at the middle-aged woman and said, "Just you." The middle-aged woman asked back, "Are you looking down on me?" Qin Feiyong said, "I don't deny it, but I'm very puzzled. Why do you want me to be your subordinate? Just because I know how to refine pills? No. What I'm interested in is your brain and your talent. In just a few months you broke through to the 7-star battle king. Your talent is unparalleled in the entire world." The middle-aged woman said, "Thank you for your compliment." Qin Feiyong smiled, nodded and said, "Sure. Teach me the slave seal, and I will be your subordinate." The middle-aged woman's eyes flashed and she shook her head. "You should know that the battle art cannot be taught to others. Then there's no other way. We can only announce the end of the negotiation." Qin Feiyong shrugged his shoulders. The middle-aged woman said, "Although I can't give you the slave seal, I can give you a perfect battle art." Perfect battle art. Qin Feiyang's eyes trembled, and he immediately became spirited. No, the sky-destroying finger that this person used was only an intermediate battle art. How could there be a perfect battle art? Moreover, if she really had a perfect battle art, why didn't she pass it on to the Meng family? Qin Feiyang calmed down and thought for a moment. The corner of his mouth pursed into a sneer. Do you think I'm easy to fool? Seeing is believing, hearing is false. I'll let you experience it. The middle-aged woman flipped her hand and a jade slip appeared out of thin air. Then she tossed it to Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang held it in his hand and looked at the middle-aged woman in surprise. Then he sank his consciousness into the jade slip. A message immediately flowed into his mind. Perfect battle art, void end tactics. There were a total of 4 moves. The first style, landslide. The second style, earth splitting. The third style, splitting sky. The fourth move, ruins of end. The power of the first move was equivalent to an inferior battle technique. And so on. The power of the fourth move was equivalent to a perfect battle art. Qin Feiyang was stunned. It was actually a perfect battle art. The middle-aged woman smiled faintly. Do you believe me now? Swoosh. Qin Feiyang took a deep breath of air and mocked. Aren't you afraid that I'll run away with the void end tactics if you give it to me so easily? The middle-aged woman smiled. You're a smart man and I believe that you won't do that. This also represents my sincerity. I like to deal with people who are sincere. However, it's definitely impossible for me to follow you. It's even more impossible for me to become your slave. However, we can work together. Qin Feiyang smiled as well. Work together? The middle-aged woman frowned. I only work with people of value. Although you're talented, you're still too weak. Value. Qin Feiyang's eyes flickered. If I'm wrong, you and Meng Yiping aren't husband and wife. The middle-aged woman's pupils constricted as she asked calmly. How do you know? The way you interact with Meng Yiping is truly too strange. Therefore, I started discussing with my old buddies. The final conclusion was that the Meng family is merely a pawn in your hands. Qin Feiyang said. The middle-aged woman was stunned. There was a trace of disbelief in her eyes. Looking at your expression, our conclusion should be correct. It's just that I don't understand. What exactly are you hiding? Qin Feiyang was suspicious. Haha, the middle-aged woman laughed. I was afraid that you would see through it. I even specially told Meng Yiping to be more careful in the future. But I didn't expect that you've already seen through it. Your brain is indeed not simple. The middle-aged woman was full of praise. In the end, she shook her head and said, but it's still not enough to cooperate with me. Then what do you think is enough? Also, don't just talk about my value. I also want to see your value. If your value is not as high as mine, I won't bother to cooperate with you. Qin Feiyang was furious. He turned hostile on the spot. His talent and brain, although not invincible in the world, were absolutely rare among the younger generation. But this person actually said that it was not enough? Even a clay bodhisattva had anger, let alone a person of flesh and blood. Hearing these words, the middle-aged woman could not help but be stunned. He actually dared to doubt her value? This brat really didn't know how much he was worth. She asked, how many companions do you have? Qin Feiyang said, 4, including the pangolin beast. The middle-aged woman said, I can give each of you a perfect battle art. This is my value. Qin Feiyang's body stiffened. 1 for each of them? Could it be that in the Forgotten Land perfect battle arts were so common that the streets were filled with them? Who exactly was this person? With so many perfect battle arts, her identity was definitely not simple. The middle-aged woman said again, I can even give you auxiliary perfect battle arts. Auxiliary battle arts. Qin Feiyang suddenly stood up. His eyes were filled with deep disbelief. Perfect auxiliary battle arts, even in the imperial capital, were unique. As far as he knew, only the current emperor had perfect auxiliary battle arts. Calm down. You must stay calm. Qin Feiyang returned to his seat and looked down at the jade slip in his hand. His eyes flickered. If this person really had perfect auxiliary battle arts, then her background must be very shocking. If he cooperated with her, it was undoubtedly asking a tiger for its skin, because he had no idea what this woman's motive was. However, the temptation of a perfect battle art was simply too great. There was no way to resist it. Taking a few deep breaths, Qin Feiyong raised his head and asked, "Why don't you give the battle arts to the Meng family?" The middle-aged woman said, "Very simple. Their value is not enough. Giving it to them is purely a waste." This was a very reasonable explanation. However, Qin Feiyong read the middle-aged woman's ambition from this. This woman must be planning a big conspiracy? Qin Feiyong said, "Wait a moment, I have to discuss with a few of my companions. Lend me this jade slip first." "Go ahead." The middle-aged woman smiled. She was not afraid of Qin Feiyong running away, because she believed that no one could resist such a temptation. Inside the castle. "You all heard what she said, what do you think?" Qin Feiyong glanced at Fatso and the others. "Fat Lord, take a look at the jade slip first." Fatso anxiously grabbed the jade slip and sank his mind into it. Suddenly, he revealed a face of shock. Lu Hong and Wolf King also looked at it one after another, their eyes filled with disbelief. Everyone was silent for a moment. Fatso said, "Boss, cooperate with her." Qin Feiyong said worriedly, "There's no problem with cooperating, but I'm afraid of getting into trouble." "What are you afraid of? Have you forgotten? We are just passers-by in the Forgotten Land. As long as we get the perfect battle arts, no matter what scheme she has, it has nothing to do with us. Moreover, we can also use her power to make the three leaders obediently hand over the pill fire." Fatso laughed sinisterly. Qin Feiyong looked at Lu Hong and Wolf King and asked, "What about you guys?" Wolf King said, "Of course we'll cooperate." "I agree too." Lu Hong nodded. The pangolin hurriedly said, Hey, can you ask for my opinion? Are you looking for a sense of presence?" Wolf King and Fatso looked at him unkindly. The pangolin said angrily, "Nonsense, I'm ignored by you guys every day. Of course I have to find a sense of presence." Qin Feiyong smiled and said, "Then what do you think? Cooperate, we must cooperate." The pangolin chuckled. "That's all nonsense." Wolf King glanced at him in disdain. "All right, then we'll cooperate. When we get the battle arts, we'll leave immediately." Qin Feiyong's eyes flashed. He took out a healing pill with 2 patterns, held it in his hand, and appeared in the lounge. The middle-aged woman asked, "How did the discussion go? Let's see what this is first." Qin Feiyong stretched out his arm and opened his palm. The healing pill appeared in front of the middle-aged woman's eyes. "What?" The middle-aged woman's eyes widened. She grabbed the healing pill and looked it up and down, left and right. A pill with 2 patterns. Her eyes were filled with bewilderment as she raised her head to look at Qin Feiyong and asked, "You refined this? Who else?" Qin Feiyong shrugged. "Good. Very good. You're qualified to cooperate with me." The middle-aged woman was overjoyed. She put down the healing pill and said, "Call your companions out." Qin Feiyong's heart skipped a beat and he immediately became vigilant. "Don't worry. I won't harm them. I just want to see what their battle souls are. Then I'll know what battle arts are most suitable for them." The middle-aged woman smiled. "Really?" Qin Feiyong frowned. The middle-aged woman shook her head. "You're really suspicious. I can swear." Qin Feiyong looked at her suspiciously. He flicked his sleeves and Fatso, Lu Hong, Wolf King and the pangolin appeared out of thin air. The moment they appeared, they ran behind Qin Feiyong. This way, if the middle-aged woman wanted to harm them, they could hide in the castle immediately. The middle-aged woman's face twitched. Was she a demon? Did she have to be so vigilant? No wonder these little guys dared to cause trouble in White Fox City. With their temperaments, it would be difficult to catch them. She smiled faintly. "Activate your battle souls," Wolf King said. "Here? If the main hall collapses later, don't blame us. Let's go outside then." The middle-aged woman waved her hand and swept the 3 people and 2 beasts out of the window, landing in a garden outside. Wolf King activated his battle soul immediately. You're tuning in to the Li Mei Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.